Good evening, everyone. Good evening to all the students. Welcome back to our auditing class. Very happy to see you all here. Today we have with us CA Rajiv sir, and he'll be addressing and he'll be opening the session. Please listen carefully. He'll be giving us some guidance here. He has a lot of experience and we should make the best use of it. So over to you, Rajiv sir.
Thank you, Akruti. And good evening, everyone. Good evening, all of you students. स्टूडेंट्स आपकी ऑडिटिंग की क्लास शुरू हो गई है और ये सितंबर 26 एग्ज़ाम के लिए है स्टूडेंट्स। और ऑनवर्ड्स जो स्टूडेंट्स अपीयर होना चाहते हैं उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, कोई कभी भी क्लास में आ सकता है। स्टूडेंट्स, ऑडिटिंग सबसे पहला तो इम्प्रेशन स्टूडेंट्स ये लेते हैं कि ऑडिटिंग में ना मार्क्स नहीं आते और ऑडिटिंग बोरिंग सब्जेक्ट है, थ्योरेटिकल है। तो ऐसा कुछ भी इंप्रेशन तो कैरी मत करो। सबसे पहली बात तो मेरी यही है कि आप कोई भी इंप्रेशन ऐसा ना कैरी करो कि ऑडिटिंग बोरिंग है, ऑडिटिंग डल सब्जेक्ट है, ये थ्योरेटिकल है, लर्न नहीं होता। अभी आकृति मैडम ने मुझे बताया कि स्टूडेंट्स कह रहे थे कि इसे लर्न कैसे करें, तो मैं कुछ आपको बातें बताऊंगा, इंटरेस्टिंग बातें बताऊंगा ऑडिटिंग के बारे में। और आप एक डिसिप्लिन बनाइए कि सब्जेक्ट को हमें कैसे हैंडल करना है, कैसे चलाना है, कैसे हमें अपनी पढ़ाई को करना है। एक तो सबसे सबसे प्राइम इंपॉर्टेंट बात यह है कि अभी स्टूडेंट्स को ना सितंबर दूर नजर आता है बहुत ज्यादा, कि अभी तो बहुत टाइम पड़ा एग्जाम में, हम कर लेंगे, अभी कोई जल्दी है। जो मैडम ने आपको आज कराया, आप आज ही नहीं करते, उसे पुट ऑफ करते हो, अगले दिन नहीं करते, उसे 10 दिन भी नहीं करते हो, और फिर वो आपका धीरे धीरे जो मेमोरी है फेड अवे होनी शुरू हो जाती है कि मैडम ने क्या समझाया था, क्या कराया था। तो एक तो ये आदत डालो आप, ये हमेशा समझ के चलो कि एग्जाम बिल्कुल पास है और सीए का एग्जाम है ये। स्टूडेंट को तो 3 महीने भी ऐसे लगते हैं जैसे बहुत टाइम पड़ा एग्जाम में सीए के अंदर। और मैं तो स्टूडेंट्स को कहता हूँ कि 5th क्लास में तूने कितना टाइम लगाया था, 1 साल। 6th में भी 1 साल लगाया था, 7th में, यहाँ 1 साल में सोचते हैं बहुत ही ग्रुप दे दें। 6 महीने में भी सोचता है स्टूडेंट, मेरे पास आते हैं, कहते हैं सर मैं तो बहुत ग्रुप दे रहा हूँ, टाइम 6 महीने पड़े हैं अभी तो। मैं कहा ये तो 5th 6th 7th 8th से भी इजी क्लास हो गई थी ये तो। फिर तो स्टूडेंट्स आप अपनी पहले ठीक से असेस करके चलो कि एक सब्जेक्ट में पकड़ बनाने में, एग्जाम के लिए तैयारी करने में। और मैं सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस देता हूं तैयारी को। मैं मार्क्स के पीछे कभी कहता ही नहीं कि स्टूडेंट्स आप मार्क्स के पीछे भागो, नेवर रन आफ्टर मार्क्स। मैं स्टूडेंट्स को हमेशा कहता हूं कि आप तैयारी के पीछे भागो, तैयारी करो। तो आप एग्जाम को बिल्कुल पास समझो। एक तो पहला तो गोल्डन रूल यही होता है। दूसरा, हमेशा जो भी आप सब्जेक्ट करो उसमें स्टडी को एंजॉय करके करो। ऑलवेज एंजॉय यूर स्टडीज। कभी भी डल माइंड से ये मेरे को पढ़ना पड़ गया है सब्जेक्ट, ऐसा नहीं सोचना। हमने खुश होके पढ़ना है, और जब हम खुश होके पढ़ते हैं, बिलीव मी, उसके 10 टाइम्स रिजल्ट्स हैं। 10 टाइम्स कह रहा हूं। जल्दी फास्ट लर्निंग हो जाएगी आपकी, ज्यादा रिटेंशन पावर हो जाएगी, सब कुछ ज्यादा ज्यादा हो जाएगा अगर आप खुश होकर पढ़ोगे तो एंजॉय यूर स्टडीज, ये बहुत बड़ा गोल्डन रूल है जिसको मैंने खुद एक्सपीरियंस भी किया हुआ है। मैं कोई भी बात ऐसी नहीं बताऊंगा जो मैंने खुद से ना एक्सपीरियंस की हो। ये मैंने अपनी, जब मैं खुद पढ़ता था तो मैंने खुद भी ये चीजें एक्सपीरियंस की हुई हैं। और जो बहुत बड़ा, बहुत ही गोल्डन, ये सारे गोल्डन रूल्स हैं जो मैं आपको बता रहा हूं। आप हमेशा धीरे पढ़ना है ऑडिटिंग को। कभी भी जल्दी में आके नहीं पढ़ना कि हरी फटाफट मेरा तो कोर्स रह गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया, ये अभी तक चैप्टर कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ। नेवर। आप जितनी धीरे पढ़ोगे उतनी ज्यादा रिटेंशन होगी। अभी जो स्टूडेंट्स कहते हैं लर्न नहीं होती, उसका कारण ये है कि आप तेज पढ़ते हो, आप चीजों को समझे बिना पढ़ते हो, आप लिंकेज नहीं बना के। लिंकेज मेथड, एक तो स्लो लर्निंग करनी है आपको, स्लोली चलना है बिल्कुल धीरे, और चीजों को लिंक करने करके चलना है। लिंकेज मेथड, मैं आपको एग्जांपल्स भी बताऊंगा इन चीजों की। अभी थोड़ा आप पढ़ लोगे ना तो 1-2 लेक्चर के बाद आके आपको एग्जांपल्स भी दूंगा कि लिंकेज कैसे आपको स्टेब्लिश करनी है चीजों में। थोड़ा करके हमें ज्यादा कैसे बेनिफिट मिलेगा ये भी बताऊंगा आपको, कि आप कुछ थोड़ा लर्न करोगे और बेनिफिट मिलेगा ज्यादा। अब जैसे ऑडिटिंग की डेफिनेशन ही है, ऑडिटिंग होता ही क्या है? इंडिपेंडेंट एग्जामिनेशन होता है। अब इंडिपेंडेंट एग्जामिनेशन किस चीज, देखो लिंकेज कैसे बना रहा हूं मैं। इंडिपेंडेंट एग्जामिनेशन किसका करना है? मुझे फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन का करना है। तो देखो इंडिपेंडेंट, मैंने एक वर्ड याद करा, एक दो वर्ड याद करें, इंडिपेंडेंट एग्जामिनेशन। तो आगे मैं लिंकेज बना लूंगा ऑफ फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन। फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन किसकी? ऑफ एनी एंटिटी। एंटिटी कौन सी? प्रॉफिट ओरिएंटेड और नॉट, वेदर प्रॉफिट ओरिएंटेड और नॉट, इरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ इट्स साइज और लीगल फॉर्म। साइज उसका कितना हो, चाहे कितना भी हो सकता है, साइज भी कुछ हो, लीगल फॉर्म भी कुछ हो। अब मैं सोचूंगा ऑडिटिंग का ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या होता है, वाई ऑडिटर इज अपॉइंटेड। ऑडिटर की अल्टीमेट ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? अल्टीमेट ऑब्जेक्टिव तो ऑडिटर का क्या है? ऑडिटर को जो आपने काम दे दिया, जो शेयर होल्डर ने काम दे दिया, जो प्रोपराइटर, मान ले प्रोपराइटर का एग्जांपल लो, आप यूएसए में बैठे हो स्टूडेंट्स, आपकी यहां प्रोपराइटरशिप चल रही है और 200 करोड़ टर्नओवर है। अब आप एक सीए अपॉइंट करते हो, आप कहते हो कि मेरे फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन देखकर आप मुझे रिपोर्ट करो, मुझे वहां यूएसए में रिपोर्ट चाहिए इसकी। तो अल्टीमेटली व्हाट यू आर वांटिंग फ्रॉम द ऑडिटर, यू वांट हिज ओपिनियन इन द फॉर्म ऑफ रिपोर्ट, और यही ऑडिटिंग का ऑब्जेक्टिव है। आप समझ रहे हो? तो ये मैंने लिंकेज मेथड से इसको कर दिया पूरी, दो वर्ड याद करके, इंडिपेंडेंट एग्जामिनेशन। अब इंडिपेंडेंट के एग्जाम, इंडिपेंडेंट क्या होता है, एग्जामिनेशन क्या होता है, वो मैडम ने आपको समझाया होगा, जरूर समझाया होगा, वैसे तो सारी डेफिनेशन ही आपको अच्छी तरह समझाई होगी। लेकिन आप चीजों को जब लिंक करके पढ़ोगे तो वो बड़ी जल्दी आपकी मेमोरी का पार्ट बनेंगी। अब मैंने दो ही वर्ड आज दिन तक याद किए, इंडिपेंडेंट एग्जामिनेशन। आगे मैं अपने आप लिंकेज बना लेता हूं, फाइनेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ एनी एंटिटी, वेदर it is profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form, when such an examination is conducted with a view to express an opinion thereon। देखो आज अभी तो मुझे याद है, मैंने तो कोई एग्जाम नहीं देना। तो स्टूडेंट्स आपकी चीजें एबीसी की तरह होती चली जाएंगी जब आप ऐसा करोगे। तो आप एबीसी, अभी एबीसी आपको क्यों नहीं भूलती आज भी? कोई आपने कल परसों, कोई 5-10 साल पहले आपने नहीं पढ़ी थी एबीसी? आज भी आपको एबीसी अगर मैं सुनता हूं तो याद है। लेकिन ऑडिटिंग का स्टूडेंट 30 मार्क्स लेके 5-5 अटेम्प्ट फेल होके मेरे पास आते हैं और कहते हैं सर हमारे तो 30 के 31 भी नहीं हो रहे मार्क्स, 28 आ जाते हैं, अगले टाइम 29 आते हैं, फिर वापस 25 आ जाते हैं। तो मैं कहता हूं चलो दोनों मॉड्यूल्स हैं आपके पास, उसमें से एक ही लाइन सुना दो मुझे, कोई भी, तुम्हारी चॉइस है ये भी। और बिलीव मी स्टूडेंट, एक भी लाइन नहीं सुना पाता मुझे, एक सेंटेंस, नॉट इवन ए सिंगल सेंटेंस। तो आप जब तक ये लिंकेज मेथड से नहीं बैठ इसको करोगे तो आपको लर्न, कुछ एग्जाम में लिखने के लिए मुझे मटेरियल तो चाहिए ना। कुछ पहले इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज है, मैं एबीसी पहले उसकी एबीसी करता हूं, फिर उससे वर्ड्स बनते हैं, फिर सेंटेंसेस बनते हैं। तो आप प्रोसेस तो पूरा करो। और बेस्ट स्ट्रेटजी मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, 5 टाइम्स रीडिंग इज द बेस्ट स्ट्रेटजी फॉर 3 डेज। अभी आप ये इसको इंप्लीमेंट करके देखो, जो मैं आज आपको टिप देके जा रहा हूं, कैसे करना है लर्न, क्या चीज लर्न करनी है वो आपको मैडम बताएंगे, आकृति मैडम। आकृति मैडम,
जी सर।
आप स्टूडेंट्स को ये जरूर बताना, मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आप स्टूडेंट्स को ये जरूर बताएं क्या लर्न करना है।
जी सर।
और सारा मटेरियल तो लर्न करना नहीं होता,
जी।
तो आप स्टूडेंट्स को एक तो डेफिनेशन पार्ट तो जरूर लर्न करना है, ये तो मैं आपको ही बता रहा हूं।
जी
उसके
सर।
अलावा आप स्टूडेंट्स से क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन है आपकी, क्या आप चाहते हो वो लर्न करे। तो उसके लिए स्टूडेंट्स को एक लिंकेज मेथड मैंने बताया है कि हर
जी
चीज
सर।
ऑडिटिंग में लिंक होके चलती है।
जी
तो ये
सर।
गोल्डन रूल है। दूसरा, 5 टाइम्स रीड करो 3 डेज तक। और फर्स्ट
हम्म।
डे आप अगर नहीं लर्न कर पा रहे तो आप 10 टाइम्स तक रीड करो, 15 टाइम्स तक रीड करो, लेकिन उसका पीछा ना छोड़ो। अब मैंने आपको पहला रूल ये बताया था, स्लो करना है। अगर आप ऐसे करोगे जैसे मैं आपको, ऑटोमेटिकली आपकी स्पीड स्लो हो जाएगी, तो आप तेज कर ही नहीं पाओगे। और एंजॉय करके करना है, एंजॉय करोगे तो जल्दी लर्न होना शुरू हो जाएगा। तो स्टूडेंट्स ये सारी बातें आपस में लिंक्ड है जो मैं बता रहा हूं, इनको कहीं ना कहीं अपनी नोटबुक में नोट कर लो जो मैं बातें बता रहा हूं, क्योंकि ये भी स्टूडेंट्स, मैंने ये देखा है, मैं बता दी आपको बात, आज मैंने आपको बता दिया कि ऐसे कर लो, ऐसे लर्न भी होगा, बहुत अच्छा होएगा, एग्जाम में भी इसके बहुत बेनिफिट्स हैं। टाइम टेस्टेड टेक्निक्स आपको मैं बता के जा रहा हूं। अभी क्या है कि स्टूडेंट्स 3 महीने बीत जाते हैं, फिर वहीं के वहीं खड़े होते हैं। क्या हुआ? क्योंकि इसकी जो मैंने बताया उसकी प्रैक्टिस, उस राह पे तो चलना पड़ेगा ना। और राह ये इतनी आसान भी नहीं होती, थोड़ा आपको प्रैक्टिस करनी पड़ती है। लाइफ में कुछ भी आपको, जब आप उस राह पे चलते हो तो कुछ ना कुछ आपको करना पड़ता है उसके लिए, उसको एक हैबिट बनानी पड़ती है। तो आप ऑडिटिंग को पढ़ने की एक हैबिट बनाओ। एटलीस्ट मैं आपसे एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूं स्टूडेंट्स, आप 3 to 4 आवर्स ऑडिटिंग को जरूर दो, मिनिमम बता रहा हूं ये। आप देखो इसमें जो मैं आपको ऐसी टेक्निक्स बता दूंगा 60s, एंड नेवर रन आफ्टर मार्क्स। मैं आपको बता रहा हूं कि कभी मार्क्स के पीछे मत भागना कि हमारे 40 आ जाए, 50 आ जाए। मैं कहता हूं 60 क्रॉस हो जाएंगे, आप मेरे तरीके से पढ़ो, और मैं गारंटी दे रहा हूं आपको 60 क्रॉस होंगे। लेकिन गारंटी तब वैलिड होगी जब आप इस तरीके से काम करोगे, तो ऑटोमेटिकली मार्क्स के पीछे तो भागो ही मत आप, मार्क्स आपके पीछे भागने शुरू हो जाएंगे। ऐसी तैयारी करनी है। और कभी भी हमें कंसिस्टेंट अप्रोच से चलना है। ये नहीं कि अभी 2 महीने बाद मैं मुहूर्त निकलवाऊंगा और फिर हम पढ़ना शुरू करेंगे, ऐसा नहीं करना। आज से ही, अभी से ही शुरू करना है। मैडम ने अभी पढ़ाया आपको, आज का काम आज ही खत्म, आज चाहे 2 घंटे और एक्स्ट्रा लगाओ, आज ही उसको रिवाइज करके आपने सोना है, 5 टाइम्स रीड करके सोना है। कल फिर उसे 5 टाइम्स रीड करो। अब मैडम का जब लेक्चर होगा नेक्स्ट, उससे पहले आप 3 दिन उसे 5 टाइम्स रीड करके रखो। और मैडम को आकृति, आप ना कुछ स्टूडेंट से आप सुनो ये बात, कि उनको
जी
को आप सुनाओ मुझे कि क्या आपने लर्न किया है। आप दो
जी
चार बच्चों से सुनो ये, कि क्या वो कर भी रहे हैं, इस राह पे चलना शुरू हुए हैं या नहीं हुए,
डेफिनेटली सर,
है ना।
आई विल डू
तो
दैट
बच्चों
सर।
की हैंड होल्डिंग कंप्लीट हो जाएगी इससे।
जी सर।
ठीक है ना। तो जो स्टूडेंट्स इंटरेस्ट, जिनको ये बातें पसंद आई हैं, अच्छी लगी हैं, देखो फायदा तो इसमें आपका ही है, मेरा तो कोई फायदा नहीं, ना आकृति मैडम का बेनिफिट होएगा। तो दिस इज फॉर यू स्टूडेंट्स। आप करोगे, आपको मजा आने, मैं आपको यकीन दिलाता हूं। आप इसको 7 डेज तक कर लो, जो मैं बोल रहा हूं, आपको इस सब्जेक्ट में मजा आना शुरू हो जाएगा, ये मेरी गारंटी है। आपको आनंद आना शुरू हो जाएगा इसमें। और आनंद, जब भी हमें आनंद आना शुरू, मजा आना शुरू हो जाता है, तो मार्क्स फिर हमारे पीछे भागना शुरू हो जाते हैं। मार्क्स कोई टेंशन नहीं रहती फिर। और ये सारी बातें मैंने अपने ऊपर अप्लाई करी हुई हैं, जो मैंने बोली हैं। कोई भी बात मैं आपको ऐसे नहीं बता रहा, बिल्कुल अपने यकीन से कह रहा हूं आपको। तो आप इंप्लीमेंट करो स्टूडेंट्स। और मैं अभी ज्यादा टाइम नहीं ले रहा, क्योंकि मैडम ने अभी आपको पूरा चैप्टर भी कराना है। तो आप इनको करो, फिर मैं आपसे 2-3 लेक्चर के बाद आके रिपोर्ट लूंगा कि आपने इन पे चलना शुरू किया या नहीं किया। ठीक है कृति मैडम।
जी सर, मुझे एक्चुअली आपको सुन के भी बहुत अच्छा लगा, और मुझे ऐसा रियलाइज हुआ कि हमारे थॉट प्रोसेस बहुत मैच करते हैं, क्योंकि
ग्रेट ग्रेट।
कल ही बच्चों को बोला कि आप सब्जेक्ट से प्यार करोगे तो सब्जेक्ट विल लव यू बैक। तो
बिल्कुल
उसको
सही बात
प्यार
है,
से
वेरी गुड।
पढ़ो, और
बहुत
जितना
अच्छी बात
प्यार
कही
से
आपने।
पढ़ोगे, और मैंने सेम लिंकेज मेथड से कल डेफिनेशन लर्न करवाई है।
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, दैट्स ग्रेट ऑफ यू।
हाँ
आप
सर।
इसी से स्टूडेंट्स को और मोटिवेट करो। और ये टाइम टेस्टेड टेक्निक्स हैं आकृति मैडम।
यस सर।
आप इन पे अगर आपने कराया तो बहुत ही अच्छा कराया फिर तो आपने। और आप स्टूडेंट्स को एक बार ना फीडबैक, मतलब उस पे जरूर, उन पे उनका उनका रिएक्शन क्या है इस पे, क्या वो उसको कर भी रहे हैं, नहीं कर रहे। आपने तो कराया, लेकिन क्या स्टूडेंट कर रहा है, दिस इज अनदर क्वेश्चन,
डेफिनेटली।
है ना। तो वो एक
यस।
बार आप उसको भी देख लो एक बार, तो उससे और अच्छा
बिल्कुल।
हो जाएगा।
बिल्कुल सर।
ठीक है जी।
लास्ट के 5-10 मिनट्स मैं इसके लिए डेडिकेट
बिल्कुल
करूंगी।
जरूर करो, इससे ना बहुत ज्यादा परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव होती है, मैंने देखा स्टूडेंट्स की।
जी सर। डन।
चलो स्टूडेंट्स, आप करते रहो, मेहनत करते रहो बस इसे।
सर
और
किसी
डेली
ने
करते
हैंड
रहो
रेज किया है।
कंसिस्टेंट। हाँ जी।
किसी ने हैंड रेज किया है,
हाँ
शायद
हाँ,
आपसे कुछ
प्लीज प्लीज
पूछना है
प्लीज,
उन्हें।
प्लीज टेल मी।
एक्चुअली सर, जो एक्चुअली व्यूअर्स ऐप पे जो टैब है जूम लिंक का, वो वर्क नहीं कर रहा। दैट्स व्हाई वी आर फेसिंग प्रॉब्लम ऑन गूगल, बिकॉज द इंटरफेस ऑफ द गूगल इज नॉट क्लियर वेरी मच। सो प्लीज कैन यू tell the tech support team to open the Zoom link on viewers app because it is not working.
व्यूअर्स, ये धर्मेंद्र क्या है?
Please,
टेक
student.
सपोर्ट में कौन है? एक बार ये स्टूडेंट की क्वेरी सुनना, एक बार क्या कह रहे हैं, बोलो बेटे क्या कह रहे हो आप, बताओ। ये स्टूडेंट, आपकी प्रॉब्लम क्या है, एक बार टेक, कौन सा लिंक वर्क नहीं कर रहा बेटे? आई थिंक स्टूडेंट मुझे
नहीं
कुछ
कर रहा है
बता
दो
रहा।
तीन दिन से, और जिससे मुझे प्रॉब्लम फेस करनी पड़ रही है, क्योंकि गूगल पे जब मैं ज्वाइन करता हूँ तो वहाँ पे कुछ इंटरफेस सही से नहीं आता, जिससे क्लासेस इंटरेक्टिव नहीं लगती। तो प्लीज़ क्या बीओस टेक्निकल टीम से रिक्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं कि जो टैब लिंक है बीओस ऐप पे, उसे रिजोल्व करें और उसे ठीक करें।
ये आप टेक सपोर्ट पे कौन है?
Dear student, please note my email ID ajit.kumar
ajit.kumar,
at
बोलो
the
आगे।
rate ICAI.in.
@ICAI। आप बेटे ऐसा करो, आप एक बार इस मेल लिखो, मैं आपकी प्रॉब्लम इनसे समझ के ना, मैं इसका नेक्स्ट लेक्चर से पहले इसका सॉल्यूशन करा देता हूं। जो भी प्रॉब्लम है, पहले एक बार प्रॉब्लम आप बता दो। आप एक बार प्रॉब्लम ऐसे समझो ना, इनसे क्या है इनकी प्रॉब्लम।
सर आई थिंक ये बोल रहे हैं कि बीओएस ऐप से वो जूम पे कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाते, तो
तो
उन्हें
अजीत
यूट्यूब
अजीत
पे
बताएगा
देखना
ये बात,
पड़ता है
अजीत को।
लेक्चर, तो वो
हाँ
क्वेश्चंस करके इंटरेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं,
ठीक है,
ऐसा
कोई
बोल
बात
रहे
नहीं,
हैं।
मैं अजीत को बोलता हूँ, अभी करवाता है वो ठीक।
क्वेरी आप क्वेरी नोट डाउन कर दीजिएगा, हम उसको चेक
हाँ
करके अपडेट
अभी
कर
तो
देंगे।
क्लास का टाइम वेस्ट ज्यादा ना करते हुए, अभी आप बेशक यूट्यूब पे या कहाँ कहीं पर सुन लो लेक्चर बेटे, और उसके बाद आपका मैं ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करा देता हूँ। ठीक है, थैंक यू स्टूडेंट्स, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
I'll just share my screen, students. Just give me a second. Okay. So I'm audible, I'm visible, everything is clear, students. Screen is visible, I am audible properly. Everything is okay? All right, we can start with the class. All right, so whatever sir has told is very, very important. Those are actually golden rules, what he said, that anyone who actually cares for the subject will say the same things to you. That आप प्यार से पढ़ो, मजे करके पढ़ो, enjoy करके पढ़ो, बोझ समझ के मत पढ़ो, एक obstacle, don't think of it, the subject like an obstacle. You will go much far, revise it repeatedly, there is no other secret, and try to have some logic in things that you try to learn. Okay, we'll try to follow all these things, and we'll definitely ensure that you have a very good experience in learning and understanding audit. All right, so without much further ado, let's start with the lecture. So yesterday we did a lot of interesting things. That was your introduction to audit. So we did a scope of audit, we have done definition of audit, we have done objectives of audit. Those were very important topics, and you got introduced to a lot of new terminology like reasonable assurance, material misstatement, applicable financial reporting framework. Now we are going on the second leg of our chapter 1, which will give you again some very interesting new introductory topics that will help you for the whole audit. अब audit एक flow में चलता है, ठीक है? So if you are weak in chapter 1, you will face problem in chapter 2. If you are weak in chapter 1 and 2, you will face problem in chapter 3. So we have to pay attention to each lecture. We have to attend every lecture, because every lecture, every chapter is connected to previous chapter. कोई भी अलग अलग अकेला चैप्टर नहीं है, हर चैप्टर एक दूसरे से कनेक्टेड है. So if we need to make sure that you are learning and doing your homework properly, घर पे पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं हम, ठीक है? So let's start. Today, first topic of the day is inherent limitations of audit. Okay, let's start. Inherent limitations of audit. Okay, so I hope everyone is sitting. सो के नहीं पढ़ना है. No one has to lie down and study. Sit straight, sit properly, and keep your books in hand, keep your pen in hand, alert position में properly study and pay attention to the class. So inherent limitations. First, let's understand what does this topic mean. Okay, inherent. Inherent means something that is existing by default. Okay, something that exists by default. Okay, it means that I cannot eliminate it to zero. There will always be some or the other problem. What does it mean? Let's take first a non-audit example. Let's say that you are very good at multiplication, addition, subtraction. Okay, you are very good at multiplication. But if someone wakes you up at 3 a.m. in the night when you are in deep sleep and tells, hey, wake up, tell me what is 19 into 25. And suddenly you will be like, no, My brain is not fresh right now. I cannot do the calculation, which means that is our inherent limitation as a human being. We can't do anything about it. If it means if you make me do some work when I'm half asleep, I will not give good performance, even though I am very good in that subject. So same way with audit, what happens, even though I am a good auditor, even though I check and do very good audit, and I properly with lot of care, I give my audit opinion. And yet it is possible that later on something bad happens with the company or some problems are found in the company. Many things can happen. So why auditing cannot be perfect? Why auditing cannot give us absolute assurance? This is that question, inherent limitations, one of the classic old is gold question. Okay. In millennial, in your Gen Z language, it's called as OG, original gangster question hai ye. Okay. So it's an OG question. It's one of the most classic repeated questions asked in exam, very directly asked in case studies also. So it's a very, very important topic. So why and what are the inherent limitations of audit? The first inherent limitation of an audit is nature of financial reporting. Okay, nature of financial reporting. Who makes the accounts, students? Who prepares the accounts? Who prepares all the books of accounts, all the registers? Who does all that? Management, yes. So let's say Karan and Khushi, you are the directors of the company, right? You are in the top level management. Okay. Now, when you're doing the management work, you have to take some decisions when you're preparing accounts, yes or no? So you have taken decision that we will charge bad and doubtful debts at 5%. But Josh comes, Josh is an independent director, and he says, no, I think that bad and doubtful debts should be 8%. What does it mean? That the nature of financial reporting, matlab, financial statements बनाने का process ही judgment पे based है. The process of finalizing and making financial reporting itself is dependent on judgments by management. And these judgments can have some subjectivity. These judgments can have some subjectivity. They can have some degree of uncertainty. So whenever we are making books of accounts, even in that process itself, the management is taking judgments, and those judgments have subjectivity. They are uncertain. They are not sure. They are not 100%. No one can say they are 100% wrong or 100% right. So if the thing that we are checking, so as an auditor, हम क्या चीज check करते हैं? Financial statements. So if the financial statement themselves are made on judgment, can I give a certificate on it? No, I can also give a judgment on it. तो हम judgment पे judgment दे सकते हैं, right? हम judgment पे क्या दे सकते हैं? Judgment दे सकते हैं. So that's why audit is not a guarantee. We are giving our judgment on the judgments taken by the management. Do you understand? So what is the nature of financial reporting? It is dependent on a lot of judgment by management. What does it mean by judgment? There is a lot of subjectivity involved. There's a lot of degree of uncertainty involved. That is why it creates a lot of limitations. Now, even management may have created some internal control, but can management be present in every factory, taking care of each worker? Is it possible that they can be present at every factory? So let's say management made a rule. Let's say management made a rule. Okay. What did management make as a rule? That if, so management has created an internal control. What did it say? That any kind of purchase bills, before it goes to the financial accounting team, it should have a stamp. and it should have a signature. So this stamp and signature, let's say it's by go down supervisor. And he has to give that goods were properly received plus checked. So I'm repeating, internal control. Okay. What internal control has been created? What internal control the management has created? That before any purchase bills come to the accounts department, they should have a stamp, they should have a signature. Kiska stamp, kiska signature? By go down supervisor. What stamp and what signature? That goods were properly received, goods were properly checked. And after this, it goes to the accounts department. Okay, which means if the accounts department fellow does not see a stamp and signature, will he put that entry in the system? Will he accept that voucher and put the entry in the system? No. But what if accounts department and accounts department का जो person है, let's say manager, and godown supervisor की दोस्ती हो गई. They have come together. Now he's saying, I'll put any signature. I'll keep the goods with me and profit will share half. I'll put the signature, you put it in the accounts. What if they both together start committing fraud? Will management come to know easily? Will management come to know easily? It will take time. It will take something bad to happen for management to come to know. So management itself cannot know everything that is happening in the company. So they may tell me that all my bills are reliable. Management will say, no, my accounts are correct. All the bills are reliable because I have created good internal control system. So even internal control system, can it be perfect? Can internal control system be perfect? No, because human beings involved hai. So ye jo maine cheez, this thing that I taught you, that two people, more than one people come together and do fraud together, it's called as collusion. Once. So it's called as collusion. Okay. So when more than one people come together, सात संगात बोलते हैं उसे हिंदी में, but in English you call it collusion, means more than one person are coming together to commit some kind of override of internal control together to commit some kind of fraud. So that is why our financial statements nature is such that it is made on judgments of management, and hence no matter how good the management is, how good I am as an auditor, can I give a perfect report? Is it possible that after my report that there is no problem in the company, there is no fraud? No, I cannot give that guarantee. Okay. So the first inherent limitations, I have given you all the keywords. What are the keywords? Judgment by management, subjectivity, degree of uncertainty, everything I have given you. I have also given you the example. This example is there in the book also. Okay. Now, how will you proceed in exam? So if in exam, the question is that give inherent limitations of audit, all points, then you don't have to write example and each point in lot of detail. But if individual things are asked, okay, nature of financial reporting, you have been asked, or you have been asked the other nature of audit procedures, then you have to write properly in full, okay? Audit is giving assurance. I am giving assurance as per the information available to me. But does it mean that later on it's possible that some fraud can be found? Yes, it is still possible. I am giving assurance as per information I found, as per explanations I received, as per documents I checked, but it does not mean I'm giving a guarantee. Okay. Second point. Second reason for nature or inherent limitations of audit, that is nature of audit procedure. Nature of audit procedures. Now you tell me, firstly, if I am auditor, can I give complete assurance? You can never give complete assurance. We can only give reasonable assurance. Om, we explained this yesterday, okay? So nature of audit procedure. Please pay attention now to this topic. Now you tell me, students, if I am auditor of, let's say, IRCTC, railways, okay? How many trains do you think are there in our country, and how many lakhs and crores of people are traveling every day? Yes or no? Lakhs and crores of tickets are being sold every day. Yes or no? Okay. From 100 rupee ticket to even 2000 rupee ticket and 4000 rupee ticket is being sold. From local trains to intercity trains to long distance trains. So suppose if I am auditor, do you think even if I want to, even if I really want to, can I check each and every transaction? Even if I really want to, even if I work every day. Okay. So this is a practical limitation. What is the practical limitation? That we cannot, auditor does not test all transactions and balances. All transactions and balances because of practical limitation. Okay. So even if we want to, we cannot. And that is why this is an inherent limitation, because no one can do anything about it. That is why it is an inherent limitation. Next inherent limitation is, when I am auditor, who gives me all the information? Who am I dependent on to give me all the information? Who am I dependent on to give me all the information? Management. Can I force the management to give me information? Can I force? Is there any power with me as an auditor to force people? Can I say, management, you're locked inside this room, you cannot exit this room until you give me information? Can I do that to them? I don't have these powers. So I have to depend on the management to give me information, right? So auditor cannot force management to provide complete information. I cannot force you. Now, what kind of limitation is this? This is a legal limitation. I don't have those kind of legal powers. Okay. Now, Josh is asking, but we have right to ask. So I have a right to ask. But if you don't give me, Josh, I cannot force you to give me information. I can just say management did not provide me information. Do you understand? I can write in my report that management did not give me information. But do I have the authority to force you? No, I can ask you. If you don't give it, the maximum I can do is report it. That's it. I can write in my report. That's it. Nothing else I can do. Okay. So this is a legal limitation. All right. Now, third limitation, if there is carefully designed and organized schemes of fraud, what will happen? They can give fabricated documents. What does it mean by fabricated? Can anyone tell me what does it mean by fabricated documents? Forged documents, fake documents. So, अगर ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक सब लोग मिले हुए हैं, ठीक है? Everyone is colluding and everyone is trying to hide and make very, very carefully, properly made documents. Suppose, I can give you example. Suppose they are saying we have purchased a land and they show me a fake sale deed, but they have actually routed the funds to related party. Can that happen? But it is very difficult for me to know. If the management will not tell me, can I even know if who their related parties are? So, Maithili, if you are the management and if you don't tell me that you are paying salary, I see that salary is being paid to Krishna. Okay, let's say Krishna is being paid salary of 2 crore. But Maithili did not disclose that Krishna is her brother. Can I know? Can I ask for birth certificate of everyone? Can I send them everyone for a DNA test? So can I know if everyone is, can I know everyone's related party if management does not tell me? I cannot. So again, this is called as limitation. I cannot, it's not possible for me to check authentication. Firstly, it's not in my scope. And it is quite possible that they are not even telling me related party, transactions with related party. अब वो बताएंगे ही नहीं तो कैसे पता चलेगा? Transactions with related parties. So, because of these reasons, do you think auditing can ever give a guarantee? So David has asked some question. Ma'am, if the management does not provide the information, should I as a CA continue the audit with available information and stop auditing if I know they're hiding? You can. It is dependent on you, David. If you want to resign, you are allowed to resign unless you have been given some government assignment in which it's not possible to resign. It's written in your engagement letter, appointment letter that you cannot resign. So if it's legally not possible to resign, then you have to continue. Otherwise, you are allowed to resign if you cannot trust the management, if you believe that management is hiding things from you, and you cannot even have basic trust कि इनका दिया हुआ तो एक पेपर पे भी मैं विश्वास नहीं कर सकता. So if you have this kind of distrust in management, if you know that they're hiding things from you, you have the right to exit from the assignment or resign from the assignment, or you can give a negative report. I'll teach you this later that as an auditor, what kind of different reports we can give. Okay. And engagement letter also I'll teach you. Engagement letter as of now, just think it as appointment letter. Okay. So it will come in essay number 210, where we will discuss what is included in engagement letter and all. Okay. But here I had to give you that word because he asked me, can I resign? So unless and until some law does not allow you to resign, you are allowed to resign. Okay. Can I continue now? So these are the various reasons, nature of audit procedure, because of which the audit cannot be 100% guarantee. These are inherent limitation of audit. Third point. Is audit an investigation? Is audit an investigation? Tell me, everyone. So the third limitation is it is not in the nature of investigation. Okay. That's why, hence, no absolute assurance. It is not even my objective. It is not even my objective to give absolute assurance. In objective, what did we study? What assurance we have to give? In objective, what did we study? What assurance do we have to give? Reasonable. It's not even my objective to give absolute assurance because I am not doing investigation. Investigation कब की जाती है? कुछ गलत हो गया है, अब आपको बुलाया जा रहा है, पता कीजिए क्या गलत हुआ है, कितना गलत हुआ है. That is investigation. Something bad has happened. You are called. Please check what bad has happened, how much bad has happened, till what extent it has happened. But audit does not start with me believing that something bad has happened. I start audit with a neutral mind and then I get information and then I form an opinion. Okay. So not in the nature of investigation. Fourth point, timeliness of financial reporting, and decrease in relevance of information over time. Okay. Now, let's say that I am appointed the auditor. Okay. When I am appointed the auditor, the financial year, the transactions have already happened, right? So suppose I have been appointed auditor in March, but last April, say already transactions are already happening. So is it possible that I am getting information very late? Is it possible that transaction happened long back and I am getting information after a long period of time, after some months have passed? Okay, first, this is the problem. Okay. Second problem is, let's say that I am, so in company audit, you will study later on that when I am auditor, if a company appoints an auditor, they appoint for 5 years. Has anyone heard about this? So in a company, an auditor is appointed for 5 years in one appointment. So let's say I was appointed in 2021. Okay. Let's say I was appointed in 2021. That year, before starting the audit, I will study the internal control system, yes or no? Before starting the audit, I will understand the company fully. I will understand their system fully. Okay. Now, do you think I will do this internal control system verification every year again and again from scratch? In the first year, we try to understand the company fully and then we do the audit, right? So is it possible that in 2023, when I'm doing audit and I'm using old information, is it possible that some system might have changed, something might have changed in the company, but I didn't come to know? It's possible. That is called as decrease in relevance of information over a period of time. Okay. So the information that I got in 2021 about the company might not be relevant in 2023 when I'm doing the audit. Understood? So we can have to take a lot of care. This we can try to reduce, this risk we can try to reduce. But again, it's not completely possible to remove it fully. Okay. Okay, this point is clear. Next point. Okay, fifth point. So all of you remember COVID? All of you remember COVID? Okay. So it came suddenly, right? So in 2019-20, there was a traveling company, okay? There was a traveling company which was doing very well process, okay? Very well, the work was going on. The company was taking everyone on international trips and their trips were always booked ahead. And someone did their audit in 2019-20 and said company is all good, all good opinion and everything. 2021 COVID happened and no one could go on any trips. All trips got cancelled. Company lost all its money and by 2022 it was shut down. Okay. Now, can someone tell me in 2019-20 you to said going concern is correct, you signed on the report, you gave reasonable assurance that the company is doing, the company's financial statements are correct, the company is making so much profit, we gave all the things. Is it possible that I can predict future events? Is it possible for me to predict future events? So even if I have given a good report, that even if the company is performing well, even if I have told everything has gone properly, it's possible that anything can happen in future. Today I may have given a proper report, but tomorrow though, if the government bans something, if government bans a certain kind of product or government bans certain kind of raw material, then The company can shut down, okay, or company can take time to revive from it, even though I have given a good report last year, right? So the next thing that because of which audit is having inherent limitation is future events. Future events, okay? Future events can affect any kind of entity adversely. Adversely means negatively, but in audit ki bhasha, in audit language, we never use the word negatively. We use the word adversely. Can affect So, if your friend asks that tomorrow I will miss the class, next class I'll miss, you should say that it will affect your performance adversely. Okay, you should not say it will affect your performance negatively. Use the language. Okay, so if your friend does not attend the classes properly, it will affect their performance in exam adversely. So, use the word adversely. Okay. So future events can affect the entity adversely. So there can be any change. There can be change in market conditions. Some new kind of businesses have come. Do you remember Kodak? I don't know if in your generation Kodak was even there or not. Not Kotak. Kodak. So when you are growing up, you must have seen that camera with those reels, right? Reels. Not the reels, Instagram reels, the proper reels, okay? But when the smartphone started coming, people stopped buying those kind of cameras. So new kind of businesses can also make your business go away. BlackBerry, it happened with BlackBerry also, right? It was a very good phone when the typing phone was there, but when touch phone came, it was not able to sustain. So these kind of future things can even take away a big shot company. So I cannot control all that. That's what. So what are the inherent limitations of audit? Nature of financial reporting, nature of audit procedure, not in the nature of investigation, timeliness of financial reporting and decrease in relevance of information over time, future events. So अब इसको याद कैसे करें, ठीक है? How do we learn it? So divide it into two groups. So I call this method called as grouping method. Grouping method में क्या होता है? What does it mean? That we try to take points that are similar in nature and bring it together. So I divide this into two groups, nature and time. How do we remember? Nature means nature of financial reporting, nature of audit procedures, not an investigation, not in the nature of investigation. And time means timeliness of reporting. Timeliness of reporting. And again, what time? Future events. So you can easily remember the 5 points. What are the 5 points? Quickly tell me. Nature of financial reporting, nature of audit procedure, not in the nature of investigation, timeliness of reporting, and future events. Can you remember it? Very, very, very important answer. Very, very, very important answer. Everyone clear? Can I move ahead? So I'll make you mark all the keywords in the book. Quickly come to the book now. Firstly, mark it as very, very important. Extremely important. You cannot miss this. You cannot miss this at all, okay? अगर 2 मिनट भी बाकी है तो भी ये रिवाइज होना चाहिए, ठीक है? All right. So inherent limitations, please come and check this. So auditor cannot obtain absolute assurance. The fundamental limitations. Now in exam, you cannot say, ma'am, question was fundamental limitations of audit. I to never studied fundamental limitations. I only studied inherent limitations. Is that correct? No. So question can change. If the question is inherent limitations of audit, then also you have to write the same answer. If the question is fundamental limitations of audit, then also you have to write the same answer. Okay. Nature of financial reporting. So first, whatever I'm telling you, please underline. Preparation of financial statements is dependent on judgments by management. These judgments involve subjective decisions or degree of uncertainty. Okay. Then, yeah. So one of the premises for conducting an audit is that management should acknowledge its responsibility for preparation as per AFRF and as per suitable internal controls. However, such controls may not have operated to produce reliable information due to their own limitations. Do you remember I showed you this point? This purchase bills point. Okay. So this is again repeated here. This is just an example. Okay. This is example of collusion plus internal control. Next, nature of audit procedures. Nature of audit procedures, you can write from here. Does not test all transaction and balances. Opinion only on samples. This is due to practical limitation. Then management may not provide complete information. No way you can force the management. Then it is a legal limitation. Then management may have dishonest and unscrupulous people. They can do sophisticated and carefully organized scheme to conceal fraud. They can give fabricated documents. Then we are not an expert in authentication of documents. And then related parties. Everyone clear till now? So audit procedure may not be able to detect such wrongdoings. Not in the nature of investigation. This we have already discussed. Okay, nothing much. Timeliness of financial reporting and decrease in relevance of financial information over time. Then the relevance decreases over time and auditor cannot verify each and every matter. There has to be balance stuck between reliability of information and cost of obtaining it. What does this point mean? So suppose I'm checking some accounts and there is one chai ka bill, tea bill missing of 100 rupees that happened in May last year. So I will tell, give me the number of your chai wala, give me the number of your tea shop. I will go and talk to that person. I'll bring all the bills. I'll ask him to show me and open his bills for May. I'll get a confirmation from him. Does it make any sense? Does it make any sense to do all this for 100 rupee bill? That is called as taking judgment. आपको उस समय जजमेंट लेना पड़ेगा, ठीक है 100 रुपीज इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, क्योंकि वो 100 रुपीज को पक्का करने के चक्कर में मैं 1000 रुपए खर्च कर लूंगी, उसमें 2 दिन भी बर्बाद होगा. So as an auditor, I have to continuously strike a balance between information's reliability and the cost of obtaining it. The cost does not mean money. It means time and resources. Okay? It means how much time and resources I'm spending to get information. So this already I gave you an example. I gave you this example, right? This. Old study, then you're using it later on. Same example is given in the book. Now, future events. Future events can affect the entity adversely. It can affect the ability of entity to continue its business. It can happen due to change in market conditions, emergence of new business models, new products, or some adverse events. So that's why auditor cannot provide a guarantee. That's it, finished. Everyone clear? Now, one additional thing you remember, when you are writing inherent limitation, quote essay 200. So when you start the answer, please quote essay number 200. Everyone clear? Please quote essay number 200 with name. So what was essay number 200? Overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards of auditing. So how do I start this? I start it like this. As per essay number 200, overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit as per standards of auditing, the auditor cannot obtain an absolute assurance. Do you understand now? Okay, Om, you have some question, please ask.
Good evening, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Om.
मैम ये जो इनहेरेंट लिमिटेशंस ऑफ ऑडिट में अपना 4th नंबर का टाइमलाइंस वाला था,
हाँ,
तो इसमें मैम जो 2021 में अपने इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम के बारे में पता था, सारी इंफॉर्मेशन थी, और जो कि 2023 में अपने को नहीं है, तो अपन मना भी तो कर सकते हैं ना उस चीज के लिए। तो ये इनहेरेंट लिमिटेशंस में कैसे आया?
नहीं नहीं, ये वो बात नहीं कर रहा है कि आप मना कर सकते हो। ये इसकी बात नहीं कर रहा है कि आपको कंपनी ने कोई इंफॉर्मेशन दी नहीं। ये इसकी बात कर रहा है कि आपने ऑडिट के दौरान, अब आप कंपनी से बहुत लंबे समय से जुड़े हो, आप सपोज
ओके
कंपनी के साथ में 3-4 साल से काम कर रहे हो, उस 3-4
ओके
साल के दौरान आपको बात करते समय, कंपनी को स्टडी करते समय कुछ जानकारी मिली कि कंपनी कैसे काम करती है, कंपनी में किस तरीके के सिस्टम है, कंपनी के किस तरीके के रूल्स हैं, तो आपको ये सब जानकारी मिली, ठीक है ना?
ओके
तो
मैम।
अब आप जब हर साल ऑडिट करते हो तो हर साल स्क्रैच से, जीरो से तो ऑडिट करते नहीं हो। हर
यस मैम।
साल अगर मैं किसी कंपनी से 3 साल से जुड़ी हुई हूँ, तो वो 3 साल की इंफॉर्मेशन जो मुझे उस कंपनी के बारे में मिली है, उसको मैं यूज कर सकती हूँ ना मेरे चौथे साल के ऑडिट में। पर ऐसा हो सकता है कि जब मैं चौथे साल उन
यस मैम।
इंफॉर्मेशन को यूज कर रही हूँ, हो सकता है कि वो इंफॉर्मेशन अब रिलायबल नहीं है, रेलेवेंट नहीं है, और मुझे वो पूरा वापस से करना चाहिए, बट प्रैक्टिकली ये पॉसिबल नहीं है। तो दिस इज अ प्रैक्टिकल
यस
लिमिटेशन,
मैम।
नॉट अ लीगल लिमिटेशन।
ओके मैम। ओके।
हाँ
तो मैम
जी।
इस केस में अपन फिर गलत नहीं होंगे क्या?
नहीं, इसमें हाँ, आपने ये क्वेश्चन है, ये क्वेश्चन इज गुड। अब ये क्वेश्चन क्यों सही है कि आप रिलाय कर रहे हो, पर आपने इस साल की ऑडिट रिपोर्ट दी है, तो
यस
कंपनी
मैम।
या गवर्नमेंट आपको लायबल कर सकती है, फिर आपको जस्टिफाई करना पड़ेगा कि आपने जो डिसीजंस लिए वो क्यों लिए और वो क्यों जस्टिफाइड थे। तो आपको क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है। तो इसमें इसलिए तो हम कहते हैं कि हम कभी भी ऑडिट रिपोर्ट पे साइन करते हैं तो हम कुछ रिस्क लेकर साइन करते हैं, क्योंकि हमें
ओके
पता
मैम।
है हम 100% वेरीफाई नहीं कर रहे। देखो वैसे भी अगर मैं रेलवे को भी ऑडिट कर रही हूँ, मैं साइन तो पूरे P&L पे कर रही हूँ ना। अगर करोड़ों का भी टर्नओवर है तो मैं तो पूरे करोड़ों के टर्नओवर पे साइन कर रही हूँ। पर मुझे भी पता है, आपको भी पता है, गवर्नमेंट को भी पता है, इनकम टैक्स को भी पता है कि मैं एक एक ट्रेन टिकट को चेक नहीं कर सकती। तो सब जगह से ये सारी जो पार्टीज हैं, ये भी रीजनेबल अश्योरेंस ही एक्सपेक्ट करती है मुझसे। ये भी जानती है कि बाद में अगर कुछ मिला तो हम हर चीज के लिए सीए को पकड़ के जेल में नहीं डाल सकते। समझ में आई बात? तो देयर इज एन अंडरस्टैंडिंग विद एवरीवन दैट दे नो दैट वी आर ऑल डूइंग रीजनेबल अश्योरेंस ओनली। अंडरस्टूड? Okay, so Om's question is clear. Can we take in writing from the management that they are not, no disclosures to be made to us? ये हम पढ़ेंगे ऐसे नंबर 580 के टाइम पे, ठीक है? ये बहुत एक लंबा ऐसे है कि हम मैनेजमेंट से अगर कुछ मांगते हैं राइटिंग में, तो कितनी मैनेजमेंट की जिम्मेदारी है, कितनी हमारी जिम्मेदारी है। ये हम ऐसे नंबर, Santosh, I'll just tell in English also that we can take statements, but how much is their responsibility and how much is our responsibility? We'll study this in essay number 580, written representations in detail. Is that clear, Santosh? I cannot answer you in one sentence. For that, we need to study the whole essay number 580. Okay? Because there's no straight answer. Yes, Harshal.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Harshal. Hello.
I have a question with the inherent limitation of audit for point number fifth. on a page 1.60. In that, we can say as a adverse events as a word, meaning as a non-predictable events.
Yes. So adverse events can be even natural events like a flood or earthquake. So I experienced earthquake in 2001, right, when it happened. So
Yes,
one day everything was okay, and on 26th January the earthquake came, and many businesses, just the building in front of me collapsed, and they lost all their lives, right? So I have seen all this. So that can be natural events like this, but there can also be unnatural events like an adverse government policy that affects the business. So suppose government is saying that you cannot use more than XYZ percentage of this pesticide when you're making this, let's say, food product. But I was using more than that. So now it is adversely affecting my business. There was this company called as Johnson's and Johnson's, you might have heard. There was a
yes,
case made against them that that powder has some problem. So
yes,
that
yes.
affected their
Precisely.
business. So adverse events can be anything. It can be a natural event, or it can be even man-made events, or it can be government policy events also. It can be anything. Okay.
एंड वन क्वेश्चन मैम कि ये जो नोट्स है जो
Hmm.
आपने अंडरलाइन करके दिया है तो वो आप एज अ बॉस पोर्टल पे और ऐप पर एज
Hmm.
अ नोट्स अपलोड करोगे
यस,
एट द एंड
ये
ऑफ
पूरा
द
PDF,
क्लास।
ये जितना मेरे बुक मेरे पास है, ये सब आपके पास भी होगा.
ओके मैम इज लाइक अ सेम विच यू हैड रिटन
Hmm.
विच यू हैड राइटेड ऑन द स्क्रीन।
Yes. Yes.
ओके थैंक यू।
Everything that I'm writing on the screen will be given to you.
ओके मैम थैंक यू।
Okay. We'll take one more question and then we'll take at the end of the class. Okay. Towards the end of the class, we'll take one just last question. Vivek Mandal.
Ma'am, I did not really get what you meant in quote essay 200 with name.
Oh, so it just means that when you start this answer na, in exam, so suppose the exam question is, what are the inherent limitations of the audit? So you'll start writing the answer. Don't start with this sentence. Don't start with this, right? As per essay 200, then write the name of the essay, overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards of auditing. Auditor cannot obtain absolute assurance, and he can obtain only reasonable assurance. These are the reasons for it. That's it. So I'm saying
Okay,
instead
ma'am,
of
got
just
it.
writing like this, start with essay number 200. Okay.
Okay,
Just
ma'am.
it will improve the quality of your answer. Okay. That's it. Yes, Omvi, you can ask me towards the lecture end. I'll stay here, not a problem. Let me first try to complete the part. Can I move ahead now, students? All clear? Okay. All right. Good. Now, we'll come to some interesting part. We'll come to a very interesting part now. So, anything that we do as an auditor, as a chartered accountant, actually, it's the right word. Any work that is given to us, it's called as engagement. That's called as engagement. Okay. It's called as it means an arrangement to do something. It is an arrangement to do something. Okay. In lieu or in context of audit, it means that there is a proper formal agreement. There's a proper formal agreement between auditor and client, which becomes your engagement letter. Which becomes your engagement letter, which we will study in detail in essay number 210. So, most of these engagements that I am giving example of, that we are studying about, those are usually external audit engagement. Which means I am supposed to increase the confidence of some outsiders. Do you understand? I have been hired as an external person to do the audit. Why? Because the intention is to increase the confidence of users of the financial statements. These engagements are also called reasonable assurance engagements. These external audit engagements are sometimes also called reasonable assurance engagements. These things are important for MCQ purpose, not as a theory answer, but mostly for MCQ purpose, so that you remember that an external audit engagement can sometimes be called as a reasonable assurance engagement. Okay. Now, do any of you know a little bit about Companies Act? Do any of you know about Companies Act a little? Yes. Okay. Okay. So are companies required to get audit done? Are companies required to get audit done? Okay. So now my question is, what if I have started the company and I have not done any work in the company? It is just, I have not yet started because my licenses and all are pending. It is taking 1-2 years of time. Till that time, I have incorporated the company. It's chumma, it's just sitting there, not doing any work. Do I still have to get audited even if my revenue, turnover, everything is zero? There is no operations happening in the company, but the company is incorporated. Do I need to get audit done? Yes. Audit is. So if your company is having zero, you need an auditor signature to tell that it's zero actually. And even if revenue is zero, there will be some expenses, there will be depreciation, there will be license fees. Yes or no? So even if revenue is zero, there could be loss. Yes or no? There could be a balance sheet. Even if P&L does not have anything, there will still be some balance sheet. There will be, if not anything, there will be capital and there will be bank account balance. Yes or no? So in Companies Act, there is no this slab that itna upar jayega to audit hoga, nahi to nahi hoga. No. Every company, if you are registered as a company, you need to get audited. Yes or no? Okay. Why? Because Companies Act tells us. So Companies Act makes it compulsory to get audited. So what if I have a sole proprietorship business? Have you heard about Sole Proprietorship Act? Have you heard about Sole Proprietorship Act? One percent no. Sole Proprietorship Act. है ही नहीं तो कैसे पता होगा? There is no Sole Proprietorship Act. There is no Sole Proprietorship Act. तो कैसे पता होगा? है ही नहीं. Okay? It does not exist. So now there is no Sole Proprietorship Act. What if I'm running a sole proprietorship business? So this is the most common business in our country. Okay? So I'm running a sole proprietorship business. Okay? Now will my audit be mandatory? Now will my audit be mandatory? अब sole proprietorship पे तो Companies Act लगेगा नहीं. Companies Act is not applicable. Then is audit mandatory for sole proprietorship? Okay. So here we have to look at Income Tax Act. So Income Tax Act, I don't want to say the amount. You'll study that because it keeps changing every year. Income Tax Act every year gives a slab. If you cross, let's say it's 1 crore. If you cross 1 crore, if you're any kind of business, whether you have sole proprietorship, partnership, it gives a slab. So if you cross 1 crore of receipts, then you have to get audit done. So it means that if I'm running a sole proprietorship business with 50 lakh rupees turnover, is audit mandatory on me? If I'm running a sole proprietorship trading business, kirana store, grocery store, 50 lakh rupees turnover, do I need to get audited? No. So, but is it possible that I can get audit done voluntarily? Is it possible that I'll get audit done voluntarily? Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. What do you think are benefits? So if you are all chartered accountancy students, you have to convince other people that why they should get audit done. You have a friend whose turnover is only 50 lakh rupees. There is no mandatory on him to do the audit. But you are all CA students. You have to convince him that, hey, you should get audit. What will you tell him? What are the benefits of to your friend? If his turnover is only 50 lakh, you want to convince him that he should get audit done. To take loan, very good. For loans, it should be good. Customers will rely, it will increase reliability of your information. Then accounts will become reliable. Government grants you can get, very good. Investors, yes. Then what it helps in proper tax calculation. It helps in proper and correct tax calculation. It helps in finding any fraud and error that may have happened. Business can be properly better managed. Why? Because if there is any deficiencies in systems, auditor can point it out. Very important thing is it keeps a moral check on employees. Employees को पता होगा कि उनका काम कोई भी चेक करेगा तो अपने आप थोड़ा ज्यादा सावधान रहेंगे, सतर्क रहेंगे. So if the employees know that someone is going to check their work anytime, then they will be more careful. They will not easily do any easily fraud. So it keeps a check on the employees also. So what you guys have done now is given and written an answer. Can you see benefits of audit, why audit is needed? So you write some additional things that I'm giving you. This answer can also be advantages of audit, purpose of audit. Okay. So it can also be benefits of audit, advantages of audit, purposes of audit. Why audit is needed? Voluntary audit, why needed? So these are the different ways in which same question can be re-asked. Okay. So benefits of audit, why audit is needed? So it improves the quality of information. You all already told me, you are so smart. You are able to tell me this point, okay? It gives confidence to the users that information is properly qualitative and it is being followed, done using auditing standards. Then shareholders may not be involved. Financial statements are prepared. Shareholders are owners of the company. So it is safeguarding of the interest of, instead of shareholders, any stakeholders, okay? Any stakeholders. It protects. Safeguard means protects. Safeguard means protects. Okay? Then it acts as a moral check on the employees because they will have some fear of being discovered. fear of being discovered. Then it is helpful to government authorities for deciding the tax liability. Then it is relied by lenders, bankers for making credit decisions, whether to give you loan or not. Most common benefit, okay? It can also help in detecting fraud or error or both. And it helps in, it reviews the existence and operations of controls and help in pointing out deficiencies. I think most of you were able to give me at least 60-70% of this answer. Yes or no? So what are the benefits of auditing? It improves the quality of information. It protects the interest of the stakeholders. It acts as a moral check on employees. It helps with government authorities to settle tax liabilities. It helps with lenders and bankers, whether they can lend me money or not. It helps in detecting fraud or error. And it helps in pointing out deficiencies in control system. Mostly this point only no one told. Rest everything you guys told. Okay. So that's it. This point is done. Next. Again, this point is read. You can just read. Okay. Just remember, it is not necessary that audit is always mandatory. Just remember this. It is not necessary that audit is always mandatory. See, यहाँ पे भी certain threshold लिखा है. In exam, don't write the limit of income tax law. It keeps changing. Each year it can keep changing that after how much turnover you need to get audited. You just write that certain entities need to get audited if certain threshold is crossed as per income tax law. Is that clear? So audit is not always mandatory. So there's nothing much to learn here. Just remember that audit is not always mandatory. That's it. Now let's come to who appoints an auditor. Who appoints an auditor? Okay. First, tell me, in a normal company, who appoints the auditor? Shareholder or management? In a normal company, who appoints the auditor? Shareholder or management? Shareholders. Shareholders appoint in the AGM. Shareholders appoint in the AGM. But if you are a government company, if you are a government company, who appoints CAG, very good. Comptroller and Auditor General of India. If it's a partnership firm, who appoints? If it's a partnership firm, who appoints the auditor? Partners, very good. So these are generic rules. Then it depends on each situation that who appoints. Sole proprietorship में कौन appoint करेगा? Who will appoint in sole proprietorship? Sole proprietor. Okay. Who will appoint in LLP? Who will appoint in LLP? Limited Liability Partnership. AGM means Annual General Meeting, Anju. AGM means Annual General Meeting. Yes, LLP, Designated Partner. Good. So this is the next. Very easy. There's nothing much in this. So in case of companies, auditor is appointed by shareholders in Annual General Meeting. In government companies, it's appointed by Comptroller and Auditor General. If it's a firm, auditor is appointed by the partners of the firm. That's it. Finished. Now let's see to whom the report is given. To whom the report is submitted. So, if I am the auditor of a company, who will I address my report to? To the management, to the board of directors, or to the shareholders? To the one who appoints. Very good, Khushi. Who appoints me? Shareholders. So my report will be addressed to whom? Shareholders, remember this. Submitted to person making the appointment. In case of companies, shareholders. In case of firm, partners. Finished. This topic is finished. Everyone clear? So we are done with very important partner. I'm moving on to the next partner. We'll do the questions at the end of the class, okay? We'll move to the next topic now. Pay attention here. Now we are starting with a very new type of topic. Please pay attention. Assurance engagement. Okay. Assurance engagement. Now, before I tell you the definition or anything, let us first learn a few words. Okay. So if I have been given some work, let's say a bank. Okay. All of you understand a bank loan? Suppose there is a bank. Okay. Now I have gone to take some loan for machinery plus working capital. I have gone to take some loan for machinery and working capital. Who has gone? As usual, Mr. Don has gone. Okay. Our friend, Mr. Don. So Mr. Don wants some money. Now bank is saying, give me some projections for next 3 years. It means if I give you this money, so suppose if I give you 2 crores for machinery and 75 lakhs for working capital, how will it affect and how much profit you will have in next 3 years? Make a prospective financial statement for me. Now, if I'm making a prospective financial statement, am I doing audit work? Am I doing audit? Not necessary. बट एक सीए प्रोस्पेक्टिव फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट बना के अगर बैंक को देगा तो क्या बैंक को अश्योरेंस मिलेगा? If a CA prepares a prospective financial statement of next 3 years, will it increase the confidence of bankers? Yes. So, even if I'm not doing an audit, am I still doing an assurance work? Even without doing audit, am I still doing assurance work? So, is it possible that when I say the word engagement, it means more than audit? It means we are doing many things other than audit also, which can give assurance to people. Yes or no? Good. So, how do you decide that whether something is an assurance engagement? Okay. How do we decide that whether something is an assurance engagement? Firstly, there should be 3 parties. Who are the 3 parties? First, there should be a practitioner. Can I write auditor here instead of practitioner? Can I write auditor? No. Because if I write auditor, it means it includes only audit engagements. But engagements that give assurance can be many things. It is not necessary that it will be only audit. We can give assurance through other things also that are not audit reports. Yes or no? So I will not call myself a CA or an auditor. I will call myself a practitioner. Are all chartered accountants practitioners? This question I'm asking. Are all chartered accountants practitioners? No. So if after becoming CA, you go into a full-time job and you don't take a COP, that is Certificate of Practice, are you a practitioner then? If after becoming CA, you don't take a COP, are you a practitioner? So that is why can I use the word chartered accountant here? No. Can I use the word auditor? No. So what is the correct terminology? What is the correct word to be used? Practitioner. So there should be 3 people involved in an assurance engagement. You understood the logic why we are using the word practitioner? Ratta nahi marna hai sirf, samjho. So practitioner is first person. So practitioner is the person who's going to give the assurance. One who gives assurance. That is a practitioner. Okay. Second person is responsible party. Okay. Responsible party. In this case, who is the responsible party? Bank or Mr. Don? Who is the person who is responsible to make and give all the information? Give all the correct information. Mr. Don means person responsible to provide subject matter. Yes. And there is a third party. That is the intended user. Who is our intended user? Who is the intended user of this assurance? Very good. For whom assurance report is prepared. So first, in any assurance engagement, there should be 3. I'll tell you what is subject matter. Okay. I'll tell you what is subject matter. Next point is that only. So in any kind of assurance engagement, there are 3 people. There should be practitioner, there should be responsible party, and there should be an intended user. If the responsible party and intended user are same people, is it an assurance engagement? Suppose I am internal auditor of a company. I am internal auditor of the company. The management itself is preparing the statements. Management is only using my report. So is internal audit as an assurance engagement? Now you are understanding. So to qualify as an assurance engagement, there should be 3 criteria, 3 parties involved. There should be a practitioner, there should be a responsible party, and there should be an intended user. Now, what will these parties do? So this is the first thing for a correct assurance engagement. Second is there should be an appropriate subject matter. What is appropriate subject matter? It means there should be something that needs to be checked. It means the information that is examined by practitioner. Okay. Is that clear? An appropriate subject matter. I'm not saying that practitioner is not a CA, but every CA is not a practitioner. Do you understand, David? That is why we cannot use the word CA. A CA is the person who is authorized by the intended user to give assurance. Is anyone, if I am giving a certificate to a bank, so suppose Divya wants to open a current account and I am giving a certificate that she is actually genuinely running a business. So am I giving assurance to the bank? For the small certificate also, am I giving assurance to the bank? So is that an assurance engagement, making that small certificate? Even making that small certificate is an assurance engagement. If anyone has applied for some kind of visa, so if you go to these countries, some European countries, they have very strict process to get visas. So sometimes they ask for net worth certificate. Have you heard about this? Net worth certificate. So if I'm making a net worth certificate that will be used by visa people, is that again an assurance engagement? So think of it that this is the big circle of assurance. Audit is a part of it. Audit, certificate, many things are a part of it. Do you understand now? Okay. So anything that will include all the things that I'm telling you, it makes up a assurance engagement. So firstly, in assurance engagement, there should be three parties: a practitioner, a responsible party, and intended user. Okay. Second, there should be some information that needs to be checked. In this case, what information needs to be checked? The prospective financial statements prepared by Mr. Don needs to be checked, verified, and properly seen by practitioner. Yes or no? So what is our subject matter here? What is our subject matter? In a normal audit, what is our subject matter? In any normal audit, what is our subject matter? If it's a normal financial audit, financial statements are subject matter. So there should be something that needs to be checked. That is called as subject matter. So basically, we are just learning the terminologies. Okay, we are just learning the correct words to say. So in any assurance engagements, there should be a subject matter. Then there should be a suitable criteria. There should be a suitable criteria, which means benchmarks to evaluate subject matter, like AS, law, rules. Okay. Third thing, that this subject matter should be compared against some set benchmarks and some set criteria. It means what is and what should be. So what will an auditor do? If management has prepared prospective, if the bank has prepared prospective financial statement, Mr. Don has prepared prospective financial statements, he must have used some assumptions, yes or no? Some assumptions must have been used to prepare prospective financial statement. Again, I'm telling. For me to give assurance to you, okay, for me to qualify anything as assurance engagement, first there should be three parties: practitioner, responsible party, and intended user. These should be three separate people. Second, there should be some information to check. That is subject matter. Then I have to check this information and compare it with something to see whether this information is correct or not. That is called as suitable criteria. Same way, if I talk about Mr. Don, he has prepared some financial statements that are prospective, that are 3 years projections. So I have to check whether the assumptions used to prepare it are correct or not. So this becomes my benchmark. Yes or no? I can also use prospective financial statements prepared by his competitors. I can also see what are the industry guidelines or what is the current economic scenario. So if I'm testing the information against something to see whether it is matching or not, that is called as suitable criteria. What is a suitable criteria for valuation of closing stock? What is a suitable criteria for valuation of closing stock? AS2, simple. So I have to check, suppose I'm doing stock audit. Suppose I'm doing stock audit. So in stock audit, what is my subject matter? In stock audit, what is my subject matter? In stock audit, what will be my subject matter? Stock, good. And what will be my suitable criteria to check the stock? AS2, very good. There can be many suitable criteria, but I'm giving you one example. Is that clear now? So हमें कुछ check करना है और हमें ये check करना है कि वो इस हिसाब से या जो correct हिसाब से बना है कि नहीं बना है. अभी clear? All clear? So there should be an appropriate subject matter. Then there should be a suitable criteria. Then सारी information अब है हमारे पास. Now obtain sufficient appropriate evidence. At this stage, what we'll do? We have all the information. Now we will start doing the work. So we will find all the information, okay, to perform assurance engagement. Auditor has to obtain evidence. And as per this, he has to give his conclusion and opinion. Everyone clear? While auditing, can I check accounting standard? Yes, of course. Okay, no break right now. Let me finish this. Okay, sufficient appropriate audit evidence. This much clear? So, to make an assurance engagement, 3 parties, then there should be proper subject matter. Then the subject matter has to be compared with something that is suitable criteria. And while comparing, I will find some evidence that is sufficient appropriate evidence. And the last element of an assurance engagement is a written assurance report in appropriate form. So you have just studied, this whole thing that you have studied is elements of an assurance engagement. Elements of an assurance engagement. Everyone clear? What we have studied are elements of assurance engagement. So very important. What are the elements of an assurance engagement? There should be 3 parties. Practitioner, responsible party, intended user. Then there should be some information that is to be checked. That is appropriate subject matter. This information should be compared with something that is suitable criteria. To compare it, auditor will need to find evidence, sufficient appropriate evidence. And then he has to write everything down in a report, which is a written assurance report in appropriate form. Is everyone clear till now? Everyone quickly reply to me. I know this. See, topic is not hard. Topic is not hard. It's just some new words for you. That's it. Some technical words. Okay. What does sufficient and appropriate evidence mean? मतलब जब आप ऑडिट कर रहे हो तो आपकी जिम्मेदारी है इतना एविडेंस कलेक्ट करो जो इनफ है और जो अच्छी क्वालिटी का है. ओके, सो योर जॉब इज टू फाइंड एविडेंस दैट इज इनफ, दैट इज सफिशिएंट, एंड अप्रोप्रिएट मींस रेलेवेंट एंड गुड क्वालिटी. इज दैट क्लियर? Sufficient and appropriate के बारे में we have to study a lot. It will come in the whole audit. Okay. This is an extremely important topic. This is actually a new topic, which means this answer was not there in the books 10 years back. So it's a new topic and hence it is important. So inherent limitations is old and gold. Okay. It's old is gold. But this topic is a new, fresh topic and hence it is important. Ma'am, is practitioner always an auditor? The difference is only the practitioner only provides assurance. No. Practitioner can be someone who this chapter 1 is fully important, to be very honest, okay, because it's your introduction. So if you are an assurance, if you're giving assurance, you can do audit also, you can do it without audit also. What does it want to say? That when I am doing any assurance work, I can give you assurance by doing audit also. I can give you assurance by giving a certificate also. I can give you assurance by doing review also. Is that clear, Divya? So practitioner is providing assurance through many different ways. So I can provide assurance by doing audit. I can provide assurance by not doing audit and doing only review. I can provide assurance by calculating the prospective financial statements. I can give you assurance by doing certificate. All of this is covered under assurance engagement. Everything clear? अच्छे से समझ आ गया? Practitioner submits the report to the person wherever his engagement letter gives. Okay. If my engagement letter is, suppose if bank is asking, then I can address my engagement assurance report to bank. Okay. So my signature will be there on the reports. We'll take a 5-minute, quick 5-minute, not 10 minutes. We'll take a quick 5-minute break and come back. Okay. Yeah. Students, I am back. Are you back? बहुत सारे सवालों के साथ मैं आपको छोड़ के गई हूँ. Okay. Okay. Acha. So see, as of now, let's focus on one thing. Okay. See, every time I give you a new information, you will have 10 new questions. That is a good sign. That means you're understanding. That does not mean you're not understanding. It means you are thinking the impact of what you have learned. Okay. But if you wait for me to complete the topic, you will realize many of your questions are getting answered. Okay. That is why I told that at the end of the class, I'll take doubts. Okay. Now pay attention here. And if I, as an auditor, you forget, like as someone who's qualified chartered accountant with COP, can I do just audit? Just first tell me that. Can I only do audit? Can I only do audit? Can I provide assurance to people, intended users, through means even other than audit? Are there many other things which can be used to give assurance to people? So, audit is a type of assurance engagement. Is audit a type of assurance engagement? But does audit equal to assurance engagement? Does audit equal assurance engagement? No. Audit is a type of assurance engagement. Yes. Now, if you see your book, come to this page, page number 1.27. Can you see this? Come to this page. Now, if you'll see, it's talking about different types of assurance engagement. If I'm giving reasonable assurance, in audit, what kind of assurance do I give? In audit, what kind of assurance do I give? Reasonable assurance. So audit is a type of assurance engagement. Then there is something called as review. This usually happens for listed companies. What happens in listed companies? The share market cannot wait that you will publish your results only once in a year. So usually every quarter, the SEBI can ask to submit something called as limited review report. This you will study in CA final, not in CA intermediate. So I'm not doing exactly audit. I'm doing something called as review. But is review also giving assurance? Is review giving assurance to SEBI? Yes. But what kind of assurance it is giving? It is giving only limited assurance. So is limited less than reasonable? Is limited assurance less than reasonable assurance? Yes. But is it still an assurance service? It's still an assurance service. In review, am I doing any audit? In review, is review report and equals to audit report? No. Which means review report is also an assurance report. Now, third type of assurance engagement dealing with matters other than historical information, which means I'm preparing and checking a prospective financial information like a forecast, or I'm giving assurance regarding whether your internal control systems are working or not. Sorry. Now, am I doing any audit in that? When I'm examining prospective financial information, am I doing any audit? But if I check and give it to bank, is bank getting assurance? So that is also a type of assurance engagement. So we can do a lot of different ways there are to give assurance to people. Do you understand now? Audit is one of the most popular way to give assurance. But there are many ways in which in our career, we give assurance to people. So it's not just through audit. We give assurance to people in multiple different types of formats, multiple types of reports. Now, is it clear? So you're asking about limited assurance. LR, we call it LR reports. It's called as limited review reports. It's usually for listed companies, and the SEBI demands it to be done quarterly by the CA, and they give a limited review report. The guidelines are given by SEBI only, that what you need to check, how you need to check, how you need to give the report, everything is given by them for quarterly results. So there also I'm giving assurance, but I am not doing audit. Everyone clear now? Now we'll go back. See, examples of assurance engagement. अब थोड़ा हम backward जाएंगे, okay? Examples of assurance engagement. Audit is an example of assurance engagement. Review is an example of assurance engagement. Checking prospective information, it provides assurance because we are checking reasonability of assumptions. We are checking controls. This is one more example. We are checking controls. We are providing assurance whether the design and controls are properly working. So there could be 1,000 different ways we can give assurance depending on the needs of the responsible party and intended user. Is that clear? That's it. अब थोड़ा explanation है. That's it. Concept finish हो गया. Concept is done. So come here. Come on the top. Come to page number 1.22. Come to page number 1.22. Sorry. Meaning of assurance engagement. Why am I doing this in last? क्योंकि अगर आप पहले elements पढ़ लोगे, if you study elements first, the definition becomes very easy. Okay? Now, what is an assurance engagement? Assurance means any engagement by which a practitioner, a practitioner, what does he do? He gives a conclusion. He gives a conclusion. Why? Why does he give a conclusion? To enhance the confidence. Whose confidence? Kiska confidence? Intended users ka. Intended users means other than responsible party. How does he give it? The outcome of evaluation or measurement of a subject matter against criteria. So I'll write this now, what I wrote, okay? So see this. First, we are doing assurance engagement. How to remember the definition? Assurance engagement is an engagement. Okay जी, engagement है. कौन करता है? Who? कौन? Practitioner करता है. Practitioner करता है. क्यों? क्या करता है वो? Practitioner करता है. क्यों करता है? क्या करता है? To do, give conclusion. Conclusion देने के लिए. क्यों conclusion देना है? To enhance the degree of conclusion. Sorry, degree of confidence. Sorry, degree of confidence. किसका degree of confidence? Whose degree of confidence? किसका confidence बढ़ाना है? Intended user का. Intended users. कौन है ये intended users? Other than responsible party. But कैसे बढ़ाना है ये? How are we going to do this? We are going to do this by measuring something. What are we going to measure? We are going to measure subject matter against criteria. Do you think you can remember the definition? Do you think you can remember? Okay, let's do it again one more time. Let's do it one more time. Okay. At your home, repeat with me. बोल के, okay? Everyone should speak out loud. Assurance engagement क्या है? What is it? An engagement. किसका एंगेजमेंट है? प्रैक्टिशनर, इन विच अ प्रैक्टिशनर क्या करता है? वो एक्सप्रेसेस अ कंक्लूजन। क्यों करता है? टू एनहांस द डिग्री ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस। किसका कॉन्फिडेंस? इंटेंडेड यूजर्स विच आर अदर देन रिस्पॉन्सिबल पार्टी। कैसे इंक्रीज करता है कॉन्फिडेंस? अबाउट द आउटकम ऑफ इवैल्यूएशन ऑफ मेजरमेंट ऑफ अ सब्जेक्ट अगेंस्ट क्राइटेरिया। एवरीवन क्लियर? Now you know why we are doing this definition after elements. पहले elements learn हो जाए, समझ में आ जाए, then come to the definition. Okay? Now elements are already finished. Okay? Elements I have done fully. So I'll just quickly let you know what to underline. Three-party relationship, practitioner, responsible party, intended users. Okay? Practitioner is the one who provides assurance. Practitioner is broader than auditor, okay? Practitioner is not equal to auditor. Practitioner is bigger. They can do much more work than just the work auditor. Auditor is only related to historical information. Practitioner may even provide assurance that is not related to historical information. Responsible party is party responsible for preparation for subject matter. Intended users are persons for whom assurance report is prepared. Next, appropriate subject matter, information that is examined. Suitable criteria, benchmarks used like standards, guidance, laws. Sufficient appropriate evidence, audit evidence मत लिख देना गलती से. Sufficient appropriate evidence लिखना है. Are we doing audit? Does assurance means audit only? No. So if you write sufficient appropriate audit evidence, your point will be fully wrong. Sufficient appropriate evidence find करना है. A practitioner performance assurance engagement to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence so that he can give conclusions and then he can form an opinion. Sufficient means correct quantity, appropriate means correct quality. Evidence should be both sufficient and appropriate. And bol ke oral report is not okay. Give a written report that has conclusion that conveys assurance about the matter. Finished. Again, more than the definition, I'm not making you mark definition important, but I'm making you mark elements important, okay? Meaning of audit versus review. Audit versus review, audit कौन सा assurance देता है? Reasonable assurance. Review कौन सा assurance देता है? Which assurance does review give? Limited assurance engagement. So it gives a lower level of assurance than audit. Okay? Then types of assurance engagement, again repetition. Reasonable assurance engagement versus limited assurance engagement. Reasonable assurance engagement means high level of assurance. Remember this point for MCQ. Reasonable assurance means high level of assurance. Limited assurance means lower level of assurance than audit, which means it's only a moderate level. So write like this. Reasonable assurance means high level. Then limited assurance means moderate level. Okay? Then, again, this is repeated. Reasonable assurance means high level. Limited assurance means low level. Reasonable assurance, you do more work. Elaborate extensive procedures. Obtain sufficient evidence. Lesser procedures. You give reasonable conclusions. It involves obtaining sufficient evidence to give limited conclusions. What do we give here? Reasonable conclusions. What do we give here? Limited conclusions. Example of reasonable assurance is audit engagement. Example of limited assurance is review engagement. Again, same repetition. Now, they are giving you an example of assurance engagement other than historical. I already gave that to you. Okay? Lower than audit and hence it is moderate. Is that clear, Rashmi? It is lower in limited engagement. You get lower than audit and hence it is equal to moderate level. Okay. This I already taught you. Prospective information, it may related to providing assurance. So prospective means information based on assumptions about events that may occur in future and possible actions by entity. It can be like a forecast, like a projection, like a combination. It is a type of assurance engagement, but it is not examination of historical financial information. Repetition is there. I've already taught you all that. Okay. Historical means it relates to events that have already happened. Prospective means it's based on assumptions of things that will happen in future. In assurance reports, prospective. Okay, I will ask you a question now. Suppose I'm making an assurance report on prospective financial information. Will I give a guarantee कि ये होगा ही? No. So what? तो मैं कर क्या रही हूँ फिर? उसमें साइन किस चीज के लिए है? The sign is for that the assumptions and the it is properly prepared, it is properly presented, and the assumptions are properly disclosed. Is that clear? I'm only seeing whether it's properly prepared on the basis of assumptions and all assumptions are clearly disclosed. So am I giving an audit opinion? Am I telling whether a true and fair view hai ki nahi hai? Am I giving any true and fair view opinion? Nothing. I'm only telling whether it's properly prepared as per assumptions and all assumptions are properly disclosed. Okay. So auditor is not in a position to express an opinion as to whether results shown in prospective financial statements will be achieved. So I will not give any opinion whether this will be achieved or not. Hence, this only gives what kind of assurance? Only moderate level of assurance. So prospective also gives only moderate assurance. Done? Any doubt? Good, Mustafa. Absolute is the greatest assurance which we never get. Auditor gives reasonable assurance, which is highest level. And then review gives limited assurance, which is moderate level. Very good, Mustafa. Very good. Good job. All right. I'll take all the doubts at the end of the class. Okay. You can keep your hand raised, but I'll take them at the end of the class. Keep your doubts noted. Okay. Keep it properly noted. There is nothing called as prospective assurance. There is prospective financial statements on which I can give assurance. Okay. I can't see your name. Can you write your name? So it means that if I want to go to a bank to get some money, they can ask me to give prospective, that is projected financial statements, and they will say, get it from a CA. So the client can come to me that I have prepared all this, you examine it, and if you examine it and give your sign, then the bank will be able to give me money. Prospective does not mean budget. Budget. So suppose, Mustafa, today I have 50,000 rupees with me. So I am deciding where will I spend the money. That is called as budget. Prospective means I am expecting 3 lakhs in future. And where will I spend that 3 lakh money that I will get in future? That is called as prospective. Is that clear? Budgeting means what you have, I am dividing it. Prospective means I'm expecting this to happen in future, which means today my sales is 1 crore, but I'm expecting that by next year my sales would be 3 crores. That is prospective. Now this 3 crores happened because I raised capital or because I increased marketing or my competitor went away. I have to give my assumptions that why my sales increased to 3 crores. Is that clear? That are your assumptions. That how did you decide that your sale will be 3 crores next year? Those assumptions only auditor will check. Now is it clear? I am explaining prospective information 6th time. Prospective information means projections. Divya, do you understand forecast? Suppose Divya, you are running a business, okay? Bank wants to know, आज आप 1 करोड़ कमा रहे हैं, आप 3 साल में कहाँ होंगे, उसका मुझे एक पिक्चर दिखाइए. बताइए आप 3 साल में आपका कितना टर्नओवर होगा, आपका कितना प्रॉफिट होगा. तो मैं एक रिपोर्ट बना के देती हूँ कि सर 3 साल में तो मेरा टर्नओवर 150 करोड़ हो जाएगा. तो बैंक बोलता है कि ये जो आपने 3 साल में आपका 150 करोड़ हो जाएगा, ये सीए से चेक करवा के लाइए. सो प्रोस्पेक्टिव. नाउ इज इट क्लियर दिव्या? Prospective means something that is going to happen. It's a projection. Financial statements based on future events, assumptions of future events. Chalo. Can I, auditor is finance god? No, that's why you have to write down assumptions. So we are assuming, so in economics, you used to hear everything else remaining constant. Do you remember? In economics, everything else remaining constant. So those are assumptions that we'll assume certain things will not change and certain things will change. And according to that, we create projections. You'll create projections when you join articleship, okay? So you will see it real time how projections are created. Okay, now let me start with the next topic. It's already 8:10. Qualities of an auditor, okay? So pay attention here. Qualities of an auditor is a little theoretical old answer. So some specific things you can remember in this. See, auditor it's not just that you should have a certain kind of technical knowledge. You should also have a certain kind of personality, okay? So if I am someone who is very careless, can I be an auditor? I'm very high IQ. Very high IQ. I can remember by just seeing everything, but I am very careless. Can I be a good auditor? If I'm very careless, can I be a good auditor? Okay. Then I don't have a good temper. I easily lose. I am short circuit. कुछ भी कोई भी बोले गुस्सा गुस्सा गुस्सा. Can I be a good patient auditor? Okay. Then I am someone who does not have good ethics and good values. Can I be a good auditor? If I am someone who does not have good ethics and good values, I cannot be a good auditor. Then I am someone who is always confused. I am not able to take decisions and judgments. अरे मुझे बोलो मत, judgment नहीं ले सकती. I am very confused all the time. Can I be a good auditor? No. Someone who is not a reliable and trustworthy person. Can they be a good auditor? Someone who, now if I go to a company, I know all their secrets. I know who their purchaser is, who their supplier is, what is their raw material, what is their process. I know everything. तो मैं सबके सामने बोल दूं अगर, तो can I be a good auditor? No. I should be a reliable person. Okay. All right. So that's it. This is what is written. Just pay attention here. An auditor is concerned with reporting on financial matters of business. Financial matters are inherently set with problems of human fallibility. So this is just a generic line. Tact, caution, firmness. What does it mean by firmness? Firmness means someone जिसने जो बोला वो कर लिया, ऐसा नहीं. I am an auditor. If I am telling you no, suppose I ask you for some information and you say क्या जरूरत है sir, what do you need it for, it's okay, and I say no sir, I want it. No sir, I will not change my report unless you give me evidence. That is called as firmness. It does not mean that I'm stubborn. Firmness means when you know that you are right, you can stick to it. That is called as firmness. Okay. Good temper, integrity. Discretion means you do not reveal all information to people. Industry means you have a proper structured way of doing things. Good judgment taking power. Good patience, clear head, reliability. All these things make up a good auditor, which means anything that makes a good businessman can make a good auditor. Okay, you should have highest degree of integrity with independence. Integrity means values. You should have good value system as a person. Okay. Then you should have technical requirement, good professional training, good education. You should have good knowledge of accounting. You should have good knowledge of accounting. In all its branches is sine qua non of the practice. Sine qua non means non-negotiable. Okay. He must thoroughly know all accounting principles. So what all we have to remember in qualities? I'm not making you mark this as important. It is okay. You can read it. Tact, caution, firmness, good temper. Even after out of this 10, if you can remember 4, 5, it's okay. So tact, caution, firmness, good temper, integrity, discretion, industry, judgment, patience, clear-headedness, and reliability. Anything that makes a good businessman makes a good person. High degree of integrity with independence makes a good auditor. Good professional training. Tact. Tact matlab, how to explain in different Hindi way. Let me explain in English only. Tact means the way to approach and solve a situation. Tactfully means properly and without being stupid. So if you are given with a problem and if you give a very emotional response to it, then are you tactful? No. Strategic. Very good, David. Tactfully means strategically चीजों को approach करना. Wisely also, yes. Your friends are helping, okay, in the class. So we are done. Qualities is finished. Okay. We'll start with the last topic of the chapter. Pay attention here. So I'll show you this in the form of a small flow chart. Pay attention. So whatever we do as practicing chartered accountants, it's called as engagements, right? This we studied. An arrangement to do something, it's called as engagement. And the standards we have to follow while doing those engagements are called as engagement standards. So audit is one type of engagement. We do many other type of engagements. So audit is one type of engagement. So there are 4 types of engagement standards, okay? There are 4 types of engagement standards. Standards on auditing. Second type is standard on review engagement. This is SA. This is SRE. Then you have third type, standards on assurance engagements. SAE. And last, standards on related services, which is SRS. Okay. Let's go one by one. What does SA means? So if we are engaged to do audit of historical financial information. So if you are appointed to do any historical audit of historical information, which standards will we follow? If we have to do audit of any historical financial information, which standard will we follow? SA, standards of auditing. There are many standards of auditing, okay? But if we are doing audit of historical financial information, we'll follow standard of auditing. Till now, I have only introduced you to one standard, that is SA 200. But there are standards till 820, okay? So if we are doing any audit work, this is what you are going to study primarily in intermediate. Your whole syllabus is full of standards on auditing. So this we are going to study in intermediate. Rest 3 we are not going to study in intermediate. That you will study in CA final. What are they? Standard on review engagement. This is applicable to review of historical financial information. तो अगर हमें ऑडिट करने के लिए अपॉइंट करें तो कौन से स्टैंडर्ड्स लगेंगे हम पर? स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन ऑडिटिंग. सो इफ आई एम अपॉइंटेड टू डू ऑडिट वर्क, SA. If I am appointed to do review work, which SA I have to follow? SRE. Now third type. This is for assurance engagements other than audit and review of historical financial information. So if I'm appointed to do any work other than audit and review of historical information, which SA I have to follow, which engagement standard I have to follow? SAE. So prospective financial statements में कौन सा standard follow होगा? जो projected financial statements examination है, SAE follow होगा. SA तो follow ही नहीं होगा, SAE follow होगा. And what is SRS? Which we apply for agreed upon procedures. Like compilation work. So if they're asking your help that, hey, help me compile my branch and the head office accounts, help me prepare with this 6 months accounts, bring them together. Are we doing any audit in this? Nothing. So this is called as SRS. So this is like a residual category. It does not have a list ki ye karenge to SRS hai. But mostly compilation work, if they are giving you, that is SRS. Okay. Are you going to study SRS, SAE and SRE in CA intermediate? Are you going to study them? No. What are we going to study in CA intermediate? Which standards are we studying? SAs. But do you need to know what SA is, SRE is, SAE is, and SRS is? You need to know the full forms. You need to know the meaning. I'll give you some examples. Okay, pay attention. Make this chart later on. Okay, you can make it later on. As of now, you just pay attention. I'll give you some examples for MCQ purpose. Okay, so SRE, some examples I'll give you. SRE 2400. It is engagement to review financial statements. And SRE 2410 hai, which is to review interim financial statements. Okay. Then I'll give you 1 or 2 examples of SAE. SAE 3400. That is examination of prospective financial information. Okay. And SAE 3420 is also there, which is assurance engagement. Assurance engagement to report on compilation of pro forma financial information in prospectus. Do you know what's a prospectus? Does everyone know what's a prospectus? Quickly tell me. So in prospectus, So if the company has any IPOs to be issued, they issue any prospectus. Okay. Now, prospectus में बहुत सारी information जाती है. There's a lot of information that goes in the prospectus. If you are given a work to check that all the information is as per the pro forma and format, so it will come in what kind of engagement? It will come under what kind of engagement? Assurance engagement. Is that clear? SAE. It will come under SAE. And this I'll give you SRS 4400. That is engagements. These are just example, students. I'm not even making you mark it as important. It's there in the book. You should just know basics. What basics? That SASRE will be 2000 series. SAE, Standards of Assurance Engagement, will be 3000 series. And related services will be 4000 series. Okay. RE, Standard of Review Engagement, will always have the word review. See. Okay. Reviewing interim financial statements, reviewing financial statements. SA 3400 is about prospective information or any other information in which you need to give an assurance. Okay. And SRS is from 4000. It talks about engagements that are other. What are these? Engagement to perform any agreed upon procedures, which means who is agreeing? Between you and me, we are agreeing that please do this for me. Okay. Agreed upon procedures regarding financial information. And SRS 4410 is for compilation engagements. So, if we look at this, engagement standards, no Mustafa, we will study all this. Essays do not start from one, they are in hundreds, okay? They are in 100 style of series. They are not 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? They are like this, 200, 210, 220, they are like this. Not 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so engagement standards are of 4 types. Standards of auditing, standards of review engagement, standards on assurance engagement, standards on related services. Now quickly tell me which standard to follow if we are giving an assurance report for other than historical information. If we are doing assurance for other than historical information, SAE, very good. If we are doing review of historical information, then which standard? SRE. And if we are doing other than agreed procedures between parties, if we are doing agreed procedures, SRS. Very good. So you can see this. Now, other than engagement standards, for all the engagement standards, okay, so for all the engagement standards, you have to follow SQC. That is Standard on Quality Control, which we will study. Okay. Standards on quality control, these are regarding that if I am running a CA firm, how I have to maintain good quality in my firm, how I have to train my audit assistants, how I have to train my articles, how I have to train my staff, so that the quality of the engagements I do is good. So we will study something called as SQC. So is SQC applicable on all engagements? Is SQC applicable on all engagements? Yes. Ma'am, from scale of 1 to 10, how similar is review from auditing, or is it altogether different? It's very different because the process you have to follow, the report you have to give, everything is different. But the base remains same, that you are checking sales, purchase, and all that. So process is very different. but we are checking the same thing, that is P&L and balance sheet. Is that clear, David? Okay. All right. So everyone is clear with engagement standards topic? Okay. Not much is left. This is very easy part, okay? Engagement and quality control standards. We have already finished it. I'll just make you go through so that you don't feel that it was left out. Standards are issued by ICAI and they are collectively called as engagement standards. There are 4 types. Standards on auditing, which is for audit of historical information. SRE, which is for review. SAE, which is for assurance other than audit and review. And SRS is upon agreed upon procedures. Okay. Now, these all you don't have to memorize. This is just for reading. Okay. This all is just for understanding. So you don't have to memorize them. Because standards of auditing, we will study throughout the whole syllabus. So you don't have to memorize this. This is just general information. What is it saying? That it is related to audit of financial statements. It creates high quality benchmarks and it is used for wide spectrum of things. That's it. So do you have to memorize this, students? Is this to be learned or is it just for explanation? Just for explanation, okay? Not for memorization. So they're giving you some examples. These examples you will don't learn right now, okay? Don't learn right now. You will automatically learn this when you finish audit. By the time you finish audit, I will teach you all of these standards. This is a chapter, this is a chapter, this is a chapter. All this will study. So you don't have to learn this right now. This will automatically get learned when we are studying the chapters. Now this SRE, again, you don't have to memorize this. It is for review. It gives you limited assurance. Assurance is lower than, this is already done, already understood. Okay. It is less procedures than audit. These are 2 examples. Again, I have shown you. Both SA and SRE are for historical information. Okay. Now SAE. These are other than historical information. Okay. These are SAE. Example is prospective. Can you see this is repeated? Okay. This is not for historical financial information. 2 examples are given. Okay. Prospective financial information. This all already I have written here. Yes. Okay. Already it's written here. Everything is finished. Then SRS relate to agreed upon procedures, which means you are specifically appointed for something specific. So someone wants to appoint you that please just check our daters. Please just check our creditors. Please just check our daters. Just check our related parties. So you are being appointed for something very specific for some specific reason. So there is no general law for it. An engagement in which practitioner may be called upon to assist management. So if practitioner is called to assist management with preparation and presentation of historical information without obtaining assurance. So this is a compilation engagement. तो आपकी help financial statement को prepare करने में ली जाएगी. उसको compilation कहेंगे. So if I am appointed to do compilation work, can I also be appointed to do audit work? If I am the one who was appointed and engaged to do compilation work, can I do the audit work? Good. It is not an assurance engagement and no opinion is expressed. So if I am helping them to make accounts, am I doing any assurance work? No. Am I giving any opinion? No. So that's why I said SRS is like residuary thing. Okay. So again, some examples are given. And SQC, again, you will study this in detail. So SQC are standards to provide guidance regarding firm's responsibility for its system of quality control. जैसे कंपनी को internal control system रखना होता है ताकि वो अच्छे से काम कर सके. Same way, a CA firm needs to keep quality control system so that the work I do in my CA firm is done properly. That is quality control. We will study SQC1 in detail. That time we'll do it. Again, you don't need to learn this now. Is that clear? This we will study in detail. There's like a 7-8 pages content on this. That time we'll study, not now. You don't have to remember this. Just remember this. SQC is applicable to all services of engagement standard. This is why I made this circle. On all services, SQC is applicable. So I don't have to maintain good system just for audit. I have to maintain it for everything. Now, why are these standards needed? Let's talk about the last answer, today's last answer. Why are standards needed? Why are standards needed? First, it establishes benchmarks to keep us at par with global practices. Let's say I am an IT company. Let's say we are Infosys, okay? Let's say we are Infosys. So now there is another company, let's say in Russia, which are also doing work like Infosys, okay? And now there is a company in London who wants to hire either Infosys or that Russian company. So that European company, that London company is saying, hey, Infosys, you send me your audit report. And that Russian company, you also send me your audit report. So for that London company to be able to take decision and understand the audit report, if the audit reports are very different, can they compare it and can they take any decision? If the audit report of an Indian company and audit report of another country is very, very different, are they comparable? No. We live in global age. So reports should be comparable. And that is why standards are important, because they create a benchmark कि सबको ऐसे ही report करना है. So establishes benchmarks. Second, it improves quality of financial reporting, and it also improves quality of audit. It improves quality of financial reporting and it improves quality of audit. Third, it gives uniformity. Uniformity क्यों? In financial statements. All financial statements, if I am auditor in Tamil Nadu, if you are an auditor in Haryana, if someone is an auditor in Assam, everyone's audit report are made in uniform way. I am not making audit report different than the person sitting in Assam. So there is a uniformity in the audit of financial statements. And lastly, it gives auditors with professional knowledge. It equips auditor with professional knowledge plus skill. If I have standards, I know कि मुझे कोई भी डाउट है कि किसी चीज को क्या करना है, कैसे करना है. So lot of you asked me questions yesterday, right? Someone today also asked me that, ma'am, can I take a representation in writing from management that they have given me all information? So imagine I can also have this doubt. So if I know that I can refer to essay 580 because it gives me the answer. Yesterday again someone asked me that, ma'am, how do we decide materiality? So I know I can go to essay number 320, it will give me an answer, yes or no. So it equips me also that I will have professional knowledge to how to solve or handle a situation. I will get skill to handle audit, because audit is so judgment based. It is dependent on so many things that you do not have it like law. Law में तो fix है, ऐसे ही करना है. But audit is dependent so much on judgment that standards help me and equip me with knowledge and skill to do my job better. So why are the standards needed? It creates a benchmark so that we are at par with global practices. It improves the quality of financial reporting and quality of audit. It brings uniformity in the audit of financial statements, and it equips an auditor or professional accountant with professional knowledge and skill. Is everyone clear? So this is the exact answer. Why are standards needed? Just add here. Importance of standards, benefits of standards, and advantages of standards. Importance of standards, benefits of standards, advantages of standards. Okay. That's it. We are completed with the chapter. First, before doing anything else, I'll take all the doubts. And 1 second. I'll just quickly revise everything, students. Just pay attention here. Just 5 minutes it will take. Just the important things, not everything, okay? So, audit, it originates from the Latin word audiere to here. First Auditor General of India in 1860 by British India. Presently, Comptroller and Auditor General of India is an independent constitutional authority, and ICAI was established in 1949. What is audit? An independent examination of financial information of any entity, whether profit-oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form. 2, with a view to express an opinion thereon. David is asked, yes, I will upload these notes on the portal. And these are standards we release, but we are releasing the standards on the basis of international standards. Is that clear, David? Each country releases their own standards, but our standards are made as per the international standards released. Is that clear? Then quickly, objective of audit, SA 200, overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards of auditing. Obtain reasonable assurance that financial statement as a whole are free from material misstatement due to fraud and error, so that auditor can express an opinion that financial statements are prepared as per applicable financial reporting framework. What is the second objective? To report and communicate as per SAs. What is the scope? What it includes? Coverage of all aspects that are relevant, reliability and sufficiency of information, proper disclosure of financial information, expression of notes on financial statements, opinion. What it does not include? Responsibility of preparing, duties outside the scope of competence, expertise in authentication of documents, investigation. All this it does not include. What are inherent limitations of audit? Nature of financial reporting, nature of audit procedures, not in the nature of investigation, timeliness of financial reporting and decrease in relevance of information over time, and future events. Okay. What are the benefits of auditing? It provides high quality information, safeguarding of shareholder interest, moral check on employees, helpful to government authorities for tax. Audited financial information can be used by lenders and bankers. It can help detect fraud or error or both, and it helps in review of control to point out deficiencies. Mandatory when it is required by law, voluntary when it is not required. Who appoints an auditor? Owners, when it is based on laws and regulations. Companies, it's by members in AGM. Government companies, CAG. Assurance engagement, what are the elements? Three-party relationship, a practitioner, a responsible party, intended users. An appropriate subject matter should be there. Suitable criteria should be there. Sufficient appropriate evidence should be there. And written report should be there. What are the types of assurance engagement? Reasonable assurance engagement like audit, limited assurance like review. What quality should be there? Tact, caution, firmness, good temper, integrity, discretion, industry judgment, patience, clear-headedness, reliability. Highest degree of integrity with independence, exhaustive knowledge of accounting. Fair standards, essays, audit of historical information, SRE, review of historical information, SAE, engagements other than audit and review, and SRS, other related services like compilation. Standards क्यों चाहिए? It helps in establishing benchmarks with global practices, improve quality of financial reporting, promote uniformity, equip professional accountants with knowledge and skill, and or standards ensure audit quality. See, 10 minutes may we revise, yes or no? In exam, you should reach this level that you can revise the whole chapter in 10-15 minutes. That is the goal we have to reach. Okay? Now, last topic. It is the duty. So this is nothing. This is just a general understanding. You don't have to learn. It is the duty of professional accountants to see that you follow it. Obviously, these are to be followed by professional accountants. If there is a situation where you feel that standards would be ineffective, then you document it, that what procedures you actually performed and why you did not follow the standards. Finished? Understood? So in every situation, we have to follow the standards. But if in some situation, you are even being given this liberty, if in some situation you feel that your procedure is better than the procedure given in standards, then you can write that, you can mention why that is better, this is better than the procedure in the standard, and you should clearly report it. Is that clear? So we are done with the chapter. Now you can ask your doubts, students. One by one, Diksha, you can ask it out.
हेलो मैम मैम
Hello.
आई वांट टू आस्क कि
Hmm.
जो प्रैक्टिशनर है और जो
Sorry, what?
ऑडिट प्रैक्टिशनर
Practitioner, okay.
एंड जो ऑडिटर है उसमें क्या डिफरेंस है क्योंकि मुझे पता नहीं चला आई डोंट गेट इट
नहीं, प्रैक्टिशनर जेनेरिक टर्मिनोलॉजी है, ऑडिटर एक टाइप का प्रैक्टिशनर है.
देन इफ अ कंपनी अपॉइंट ऑडिटर एंड कंपनी ऑलरेडी हैव ऑडिटर व्हाई दे अपॉइंट ऑडिटर इफ दे हैव ऑडिटर
आप बोल रहे हो कि कंपनी के पास ऑलरेडी एक ऑडिटर है, उन्होंने किसी और काम के लिए किसी और को अपॉइंट किया, राइट?
यस टू क्रॉस चेक
नो नो नो, सो ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. आप जॉइंट ऑडिटर अपॉइंट कर सकते हो, बट आप एक ऑडिटर का काम चेक करने के लिए दूसरा ऑडिटर अपॉइंट करते हो तो वो रोल्स अलग हो जाते हैं. वो होता है, एक होता है इंटरनल ऑडिटर और एक होता है एक्सटर्नल ऑडिटर. फिर तो वो दोनों अलग लोग हो जाते हैं. ओके? तो अगर कंपनी, सपोज मैं उनका फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स चेक कर रही हूँ, तो मैं उनकी ऑडिटर हो गई, है कि नहीं? बट कंपनी में दीक्षा को अपॉइंट किया है कि वो उनके प्रोस्पेक्टिव फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को चेक कर ले. क्या वो दो अलग लोगों को काम करने बोल सकती है? यस और नो? सो दीक्षा, क्या आप कंपनी के फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स ऑडिट कर रहे हो? नहीं कर रहे हो. आप खाली क्या चेक कर रहे हो? उनका प्रोजेक्टेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. तो आप उस कंपनी के ऑडिटर हो या आप सिर्फ एक प्रैक्टिशनर हो?
प्रैक्टिशनर
हाँ, ऐसा समझो कि एक वेन डायग्राम समझो, ठीक है? प्रैक्टिशनर एक कॉमन वर्ड हो गया, जनरल वर्ड समझ लो इसको. ये कोई लीगल वर्ड नहीं है बेटा, ये आपको कहीं लॉ में नहीं देखने को मिलेगा. प्रैक्टिशनर मतलब कोई भी व्यक्ति जिसको अश्योरेंस देने के लिए हायर किया गया है. अगर आपको ऑडिट का अश्योरेंस देने के लिए हायर किया गया है तो आप ऑडिटर बन गए. अगर आपको रिव्यू का अश्योरेंस देने के लिए हायर किया गया है तो आप रिव्यूअर बन गए. बट आप मिला जुला के क्या हो? एक प्रैक्टिशनर हो. अब एज अ प्रैक्टिशनर मैं कभी ऑडिटर हूं, कभी रिव्यूअर हूं, कभी प्रोजेक्टेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को चेक कर रही हूं. समझ में आई बात? अगर हम प्रैक्टिशनर की जगह ऑडिटर वर्ड लिख देते, है कि नहीं? सपोज आप भूल जाओ कि प्रैक्टिशनर वर्ड एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता. लेट्स इमेजिन कि प्रैक्टिशनर वर्ड एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता है. लेट्स इमेजिन कि इंस्टीट्यूट ने यहाँ पे अश्योरेंस एंगेजमेंट में वर्ड लिखा है ऑडिटर. की अश्योरेंस देने के लिए प्रैक्टिशनर नहीं होना चाहिए, ऑडिटर होना चाहिए. तो अगर अब मैं रिव्यू का काम लेने जाऊंगी तो वो अश्योरेंस एंगेजमेंट में काउंट होगा? अगर मैं रिव्यू का काम लेकर जाऊंगी किसी के पास तो वो अश्योरेंस एंगेजमेंट में काम होगा, काउंट होगा? नहीं होगा, क्योंकि आपने यहाँ पे वर्ड क्या लिख दिया?
ऑडिटर.
कि अश्योरेंस तो सिर्फ ऑडिटर दे सकता है, बट ऐसा ट्रू है? नहीं. अश्योरेंस कौन दे सकता है? तो हम अपने आप को ऑडिटर की जगह क्या बोलेंगे कि हम एक प्रैक्टिसिंग सीए है, विच मीन्स मैं ऑडिट भी कर सकती हूँ बट उसके अलावा और भी बहुत सारे काम कर सकती हूँ। समझ में आई बात? इसलिए
Okay,
मैं कभी
ma'am.
किसी को ऐसे नहीं बोलूंगी मैं ऑडिटर हूँ, मैं क्या बोलूंगी मैं एक प्रैक्टिसिंग सीए हूँ। तो अपने आप में क्या बन गई? प्रैक्टिशनर। अब समझ में आई बात?
Okay, ma'am.
नेक्स्ट रश्मि।
And
यस दीक्षा।
मैम ऐसे 400 200 का फुल नेम क्या था? I don't
Overall
get it.
objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards of auditing. You can find it in the top page of your book.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. यहाँ पे
Thank
आपको
you.
मिल जाएगा पेज नंबर। ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ ऑडिट कहाँ गया? ये रहा, यहाँ पे you can find. Okay. I'm just first let me see the some messages have come. Ma'am, will you share these notes on portal? Yes. Ma'am, your notes are really admiring. Thank you. मैम ये वाले नोट्स भी अपलोड कर दीजिए। सब दे दूंगी मैं तो सब दे दूंगी, बट अगर आप सिर्फ इसको पढ़ोगे तो कुछ नहीं होगा। खुद की हैंडराइटिंग में बैठ के अगर नहीं लिखा, सिर्फ स्क्रीनशॉट लिया, सिर्फ फोटो ली, उससे किसी को याद नहीं होता, मुझे भी नहीं याद होगा। अगर ऑडिट में एक पेज का भी अमेंडमेंट आता है, भले मैं इतने सालों से पढ़ा रही हूँ, बट एक पेज का भी अमेंडमेंट आता है, मैं उसको लिखती हूँ। आप देखो मैंने पिछले 3 घंटे में कितना लिखा है, उसके अलावा मैंने पहले से कितना लिखा है। तो अगर मैं लिख सकती हूँ, आपको तो सीए बनना है, मैं तो सीए बन चुकी हूँ। अगर मैं सीए बनने के बाद इतना लिख सकती हूँ, आप सीए बनने के लिए तो लिख ही सकते हो, राइट? सो मैं तो सब अपलोड कर दूंगी, फिर भी आपको अपनी मेहनत करनी है। Ma'am, I do lecture from library, so I cannot turn my mic on, but I want to thank you for, oh, thank you. Weightage of this chapter can be around 6 to 8%. Okay, 6 to 8. 2 to 3 questions you can expect. Like Indians are adopted from IFRS and International Accounting Standards. Where are the essays adopted from? They are adopted from International Accounting and Assurance Board. Okay. Ma'am, may I write an exam in our words or as per study material? Keywords. So if you're writing anything, the keywords should match, but you don't have to is, was, I, they, are, Z. That should not match, but the keywords should match. Ma'am, if possible. Okay, we'll try, Satish. Practitioner is auditor. Okay. I am a practicing CA, but I may specialize in making projected financial statements only. I may not do any audit work, okay? It's not is and was, but practitioner means someone who can do everything, okay? Auditor is one type of practitioner. Can CA be an auditor and practitioner of the company? What? Practitioner of a company? What does it mean by practitioner of a company? You answer me. If I'm auditor of a company, what is practitioner of a company? Ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Can we explain any topic with examples in exam? No. No. Unless it's required in the question, no. Stick to the topic. Examples are for me to explain to you. You don't have to write them in exam. Yes, good, Manisha. So a practitioner is someone who gives assurance, right? So you are saying, if I'm already auditor of the company, I'm already giving assurance to the company or not? Yes. So मेरा role already एक practitioner का है. Understood? So if I'm auditor, I'm already a practitioner in the company. Okay. Practitioner for the company. Practitioner is not a role we do for company. Practitioner is our job as our professional qualification. कि अगर मैं assurance दे रही हूँ, तो मेरा नाम है practitioner. Okay. मेरा job role है practitioner. Okay. Anything else is left? Diksha, you raised your hand again. Thank you, Sri Raksha. Thank you so much for your kind words. Diksha, you had some question? Okay, now all of you, one important homework. There are 2 big case studies Case study 1 and case study 2. I want all of you to do that, okay? Case study 1 and case study 2 without looking at the book. It is based on your understanding. So do that, please. Ma'am, audit subjecting is interesting because of you. Thank you. Can I ask CA audit Land Rover Automotive Company, which is incorporated in United Kingdom, but owned by 100% by Tata Group. So if you have a branch in a foreign company, which is owned by an Indian company, you are an eligible auditor. But it should be a branch. If it's a subsidiary, it depends. So when we study the company audit in more detail, I can answer you more properly, okay? Ma'am, you made audit language feel easy. I'm feeling sad because oh, you are giving exam in May 26. All the best. Hi, ma'am. For example, I done audit, completed audit after I provided reasonable assurance. After 1 month, they find fraud. They have to prove that you knew about the fraud. If they can't prove, see, two things they need to prove. Either you knew about the fraud, but you kept quiet, or the fraud was easy to find, but you were careless. So if they prove one of these two things, then only you are responsible. Otherwise, you are not responsible. Is that clear, Abhishek? So if you have completed an audit and after that some fraud is found, then they have to prove that either you knew the fraud, या तो आपको fraud पता था, you knew the fraud, but you didn't tell them, then you are responsible, or you did not find the fraud due to carelessness. So if they are able to prove, then only you are responsible. Ma'am, you said in last class, if an auditor holds share in that organization, it's not able to audit. So if I am a shareholder in a company, I cannot be auditor even if I hold even 1 rupee of share. That is as per company law. You will study in company law. No, Manisha. All CAs are not practitioners. Okay, yeah. Correct, Manisha. Correct. All practitioners are not CA. AS nahi, essay, Rashmi. You have to write only where I have told you, in objective and inherent limitations. That's it. That's it. Okay, Rashmi. Thank you, Rashmi. So if there is no other doubt, I'll wait for a few more seconds. I am done from my side. I am only taking questions now. So I am done. I have done even revision of the whole chapter for you. So if you are done, then I am done. So yes, Premananda ji. Please ask your question, Premananda. Thank you, Diksha. Thank you so much. Thank you, Manisha. Yes, Premananda, please ask your question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Tell me.
Ma'am, can you differentiate, help me understand a little better of SRS and SRE?
Essay?
SRS and SRE. The review
SRS and
engagement.
SRE. Okay. So see, SRE is, let's imagine, Premananda, that you are director of a company. Let's say you are director of Reliance. Okay. Now Reliance has a very important share in the Sensex. Yes or no? In BSE, NSE, it's a very important share, right? You have, and I have invested some money in Reliance. Okay. I cannot wait for the whole year to know how the company is doing its performance. So every quarter, some results are announced. Okay. Some results are announced. Now, that result cannot be just announced because company submitted, oh, I am having profit of 200. You need someone to check it. That has already happened. Okay. It has already happened, but you need someone to check it. But it's not auditing because auditing will happen after 1 year. Okay. So the SEBI appoints a CA to do review work. SEBI has full guidelines for it. You will study in CA final. That is SRE. Whereas SRS means you are hiring me to help you make accounts. In Review, I am checking accounts. In SRS, I am making accounts with you. Is that clear? Thank you, thank you. Ma'am, if company proves that it is mistake done by CA, so company will still liability for penalty or CA only. If they're able to prove that CA was also doing some mistake, then I will also be liable for penalty. There are penalty clauses for me in Companies Act, okay? So auditor can also be liable if it's proven. Okay, Diksha, thank you. Inventory verification apart assignment at depot of healthcare is audit. It's audit. It can be assurance engagement, not SRS. Okay. Premananda has some more question. Technical team, can you unmute him? Yes,
Thank you,
Premananda.
ma'am. Ma'am, as you nicely said that SRS is when we internally doing the work, whether the accounts, the preparation and the presentation of the
Yeah, there is no
financial.
assurance, there is no opinion, nothing. But in SRE, there is assurance.
But as a practitioner, I'm providing the services to check that all the documents are prepared and presented in the applicable financial reporting framework.
Okay.
And in the SRE, that is the SRS part. And can we say
SRS,
that
you are not
SRS
giving
and
opinion. You are preparing
yeah,
accounts with them. It's like you are
yeah,
working
I'm
like an
helping the
accountant.
company to making the accounts
Yeah,
within the applicable framework.
yeah,
And in the SRE, I'm only helping that they've already made the already prepared and presented the things. I'm
yeah.
just reviewing that whether that's correct or
As per
not.
the
In
standards,
SRS,
yes.
I'm helping them making it.
Hmm?
SRS, I'm helping them making it, and SRE
Yes.
is doing it.
Yes, you are examining in SRE. In SRS, you are helping them make it.
And in audit, I can give an opinion, and that's what I am
Yes.
hired to be.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Premananda. Anyone else? Yes, Tarunika. I saw some kid raise. I think we'll end the lecture here. I don't see anyone's pending. All right. Okay. See you for next lecture. We'll be starting with chapter number 2. I have given you 2 case studies. I will ask to unmute anyone in next lecture. And in the start of the lecture, we'll do some unmute and I'll ask some questions and you should be able to answer the question, okay? Regarding chapter 1. So be ready. We'll do a little bit of interaction like that. Bye. Take care. Good night. Technical team, we can end the lecture. Yes.